hotel Morning.
Morning.
Great to have a good crowd here this morning, and appreciate everyone that's here. It is customary for us to begin our meeting with a prayer by a city commissioner. And during this time, you're welcome to stand and join the board in that prayer. You're welcome to use it for a prayer of your own, if you like, or a moment of silence, whatever you have on your heart this morning. After the invocation, we will ask Commissioner Outlaw to do a pledge of allegiance to the flag and ask that everyone stand and join us in that as well. And at this time, I'll call on Commissioner Marvin Arrington for the invocation. Mr. Arrington.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Now let us pray. Dear God, we come here today to ask you and to say thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for you created us humans in your own image, that we might see your image in each other, the image of love, the image of strength,
Yes.
and the image of forgiveness. Continue to bless our citizens of Nash County. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Would you join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners. If you follow us along on the agenda, we are now on item number 4, and it is approval of the minutes for the previous month. There was one meeting in July, which was on July the 1st, and you have those minutes on your iPads. Anytime I would entertain a motion for approval, any corrections or additions as Commissioner may see for those minutes.
Move for approval.
Have a motion to approval by Commissioner Outlaw as submitted, a second by Commissioner Belfield. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Minutes stand approved. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for a great job. We are now under public comment, and under public comment, this is a period of time, it's on our agenda for the first meeting every month, to hear from our citizens. And this board enjoys hearing from our citizens, whatever you may have on your heart this morning or on your mind. I would ask that you realize that you need to sign up before the meeting, and you'll get 3 to 5 minutes. We're pretty lax on that as well. And if you failed to sign up, didn't realize you needed to, we will still be glad to hear from you because we enjoy hearing from our citizens and not quite as stringent as some boards are. I did have 2 people to sign up this morning, and I'll take those first in the order which they signed up, and then I would open it up for anyone else that wishes to speak. The first person that signed up is a Mickey Simpkins, and I hope I said that right. Okay, well, please come forward. And if you would, when you get to the podium, just state your name and the address for the record so the clerk can record that. And I think I know exactly what you want to talk about. I'll be glad to hear from you, sir. Good morning.
Mickey Simpkins, 6640 Red Oak Bible Road. Over the years, I've lived there for probably 40 years. And it's a constant, it's become a joke with the cows from Red Oak Bible Road to Halifax Road. You're familiar, you're in the area.
Yes, sir.
We have, right here, I got where it's, this year alone, 119 calls to the Sheriff Department, Highway Patrol. And every time they write citations, and it goes through one system to another, and when it gets to the court system, it's thrown out. I mean, there's no fines being paid, so he's to the point now where there's no repercussions for his actions. We had an accident 3 weeks ago where a lady rolled over 5 times, was in intensive care. Seems, I mean, I've gone to the Sheriff Department, talked with them several times to where they know me by name, they do what they say they're gonna do, and nothing seems to get done. So I was advised to come here and speak with y'all about it. He's a nuisance to the community. It looks like a trash dump. He uses trash bags to try to keep his cows in. Tie dollar store trash bags to a fence that's not even able, he's not able to keep the cows I feel like it's gone to the point now where is it going to take somebody actually getting killed, not just getting hurt, for something to get done? I mean,
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully, I think Keith Stone might have talked to somebody about it already. I tried to get the DA's name and the judge's name from the 2019 cases where they dismissed about 20 citations against them, and they did not give it to me. So,
This board does fully understand your concern on that. Rather than discuss it, because it's probably going to be a legal matter before it's over with, but I'm going to ask the manager to have Mr. Hill to call you directly and tell you where we are with that, and I think it will ease your mind, so if I could just say that.
right.
And I appreciate you coming up here, because it's definitely a problem. And if you would just let her know your phone number, Madam Manager, is that a good way to handle it for you? Okay. All right, the next person I have on the list that signed up is Mayor Owen Strickland from Bailey. Mayor, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Owen Strickland, 5711 Pine Street, Bailey, North Carolina. As you stated, I am the mayor of Bailey. Commissioners, county staff, and citizens, I am before you today to voice my concerns for my constituents and lend my voice to the concerned citizens of Southern Nash County. I am again requesting a report from the county manager and/or the interim director of EMS to be delivered directly to the Bailey Board of Commissioners and myself regarding EMS service delivery in Southern Nash County. Also, a comprehensive report of EMS service delivery was required of the county by a unanimous vote of the Bailey Town Board on June 17, 2024. Of late, there has been no response from your leadership team about either report. Further, the response from the county manager regarding the EMS report focused on Southern Nash County has made it clear that since no report of this type exists, your staff will not prepare one nor provide one. This is an unacceptable position to take. I have been allowed to contact Nash County Communications to gather my own information. From these contacts, I have created my own independent report, and my findings are quite frankly appalling. You have that report in front of you. The ongoing operational crisis at Mount Pleasant EMS, otherwise known as EMS 400, is an untenable situation. Also, this operational crisis is expanding to other areas of Nash County, and Nash County EMS is in a desperate situation. So here we are. First, I believe service delivery in Southern Nash County repeatedly has levels of staffing that constitutes a risk to public safety with only minor increases in call volume. As of Sunday, August the 4th, 2024, a failure rate of 64.6% for ambulance staffing at Station 400, Mount Pleasant, is our new normal. Failure to staff an ambulance at Mount Pleasant puts undue and unacceptable pressure on Middlesex's EMS station. Further, at minimum, lack of an EMS ambulance available impacts the health, safety, and welfare of citizens, and at maximum, is a failure to uphold a statutory responsibility. Obviously, in our society, legal liability should also be a concern when there is no service available in a reasonable time frame. Second, failure to adequately and appropriately fund necessary public safety entities, such as EMS services and their employees, 911 communications and its operators, and the sheriff's office, and our deputies, in my mind, should be your prime responsibility. This year's budget did address certain management-approved parts of these entities. I would like you to evaluate how the budget is spent on your own, without dependence on what county staff provides you. You must make your own determination of how much you, as an elected member, value staff of this type. because employees differ from position to position within governments. Third, at no time did former EMS Director Cameron refuse to come before the Bailey Town Board. As a matter of fact, he stated via our initial phone call, he felt he could supply the information and present it to our board. When I followed up with him by email was when this all went off the rails. Based upon his wife's letter to the editor, the county manager directed the former director not to respond to the town of Bailey's elected leaders. This is completely unacceptable. Subsequently, the director was, as occurs in government agencies, given the option to resign. The generally unspoken part of this is or be terminated. Finally, I am afraid there is an aversion to accountability and transparency in the uppermost level of county leadership. No agenda item that purports to fact-check public comment will ever be able to turn negative public opinion into community support when there is obfuscation of the facts. Also, no employee of Nash County should ever have their employment threatened just because they would like to exercise their First Amendment rights. Further, failing and refusing to provide accurate information to an elected body or an elected member is an affront to cooperation on all levels. Therefore, I am requesting this board direct the county manager to provide the comprehensive report to the town commissioners in person on August 19th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the commission room at Bailey Town Hall. Also, I would appreciate you directing the county manager to provide the specific report I requested. Responses to the issues I have raised in the document provided to your clerk, which you should also have. And where did I lost my place. There it is. And answers related to the questions on that document via email and hard copy no later than September 5th, 2024. In closing, I believe you as elected officials should do some soul searching of your own responsibility and actions that have in any way affected this situation. You are ultimately responsible for county government, and situations this critical do not occur in a vacuum. I appreciate your time and thank you for listening.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak under public comment at this time that didn't realize you needed to sign up? Good morning, sir. You can state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. Good morning, County Commissioners. I apologize for not signing up. I looked for the list and it was already taken up by the time I arrived.
We're in good shape, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to comment at this meeting, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to stand before you. My name is Corey Mercer, and I reside at 1431 Blue Heron Drive here in Nash County. I'm also a candidate for District 4. I rise to address the public safety issues as presented during the past budget meetings and reviews. As a retired fire chief, we always tell people that public safety is never an issue until it impacts you. It is never an issue in regards to response times for EMS unless that you have a life-threatening emergency. It's never an issue. It's never an issue until you or your loved ones that's been impacted by violent crime and you need law enforcement. And what I heard at previous meeting, there was an issue where there was 3 deputies that was in charge of Nash County response for legal services. That is very dangerous. In 2024, we're under adaptive times, adaptive challenges. And any time that you have adaptive challenges, you require adaptive solutions. Adaptive challenges for leaders require attempted solution finding options. 20 EMS vacancies and the closing of EMS stations in the fastest part of our county is very dangerous and unacceptable. I have not yet heard of a solution from the county. There is a science and an art to municipal financing and budgeting. We have the science, which was the pay study and some of the fact finding that I've not seen so far, to create a picture for us to be able to make a decision. Where the art is directly in front of us, and that is 3 deputies short, 3 deputies covering the county, and closing of EMS units throughout our county. This is what the real science is and not fabricated. And this is what I stand before you today to discuss. Now, the interesting thing is that there was no science to address the work of our hard-working sheriff. And if we choose that science, we would have addressed his pay for his hard work as well. That matches our neighboring counties. He deserves consideration and pay increase also for the hard work that he does. And in closing, I just ask that you make good decisions in the unpopular times and adapt this time that we have, because we deserve and we need a safe community. Thank you.
All right, anyone else wish to speak before the board this morning? Seeing no movement, I will move on to item number 6, which is our introduction of our new finance director, and I'll call on our manager, Stacy Saxler, at this time to make this introduction. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. If I could ask Ms. Hogan to come up and join me. Good to have you. We are excited to announce that Mary Hogan will be joining our Nash County team as our new finance director. Mary has many years of local government finance experience, most recently serving as the supervisor of accounting services for the North Carolina League of Municipalities. Her experience also includes serving over 10 years in the role of finance director for multiple municipalities, including the city of New Bern, the town of Holly Springs, the town of Smithfield, and the city of Tybee Island, Georgia. Mary received her bachelor's degree in business and master's degree in public administration from Ohio University. She is also a licensed certified public accountant. Mary is originally from Kentucky but moved to Athens, Ohio for college, where she met her husband, Tim. They raised their 2 children in Athens, and they now have 4 grandchildren. Mary will begin her role on August 12th, and we are excited to have her lead our finance department into the future. Join us in welcoming Mary to Nash County.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say hello. I'm excited to be working with this fabulous leadership team that I've gotten to know over the last few weeks, and hopefully to serve you, the citizens, and the staff of the County of New Bern. Thank you very much.
Mary, could I ask you a question or two? Do you have anybody with you this morning?
My husband's here.
Would you please introduce him?
My husband, he drove with me over here. Yeah, that's my husband, Tim Hogan. He's actually works for NC State, Go Pack. He's a director of student unions at the university. He's been there about, 13, 14 years.
Okay, great. And an odd question, but what size shoe do you wear?
I wear a 7.
You do realize you've got some awful big shoes to fill, do you not?
That was my only worry.
Okay.
Because Donna's, yes, she's got a great reputation. I've got, yeah, that's my biggest worry. But she promises she'll be nearby and I can call her if I need it. So.
Well, she has promised us the same thing, to be honest
so.
with you.
Yeah, we're fortunate that she's going to be willing to do that.
I did speak to her end of last week, and she told me a little bit about you. And when I found out and couldn't talk her out of leaving, I charged her with finding someone, because our former finance director was charged with finding someone of her level before she left, and Donna feels like she has certainly done that, and it appears certainly like she has. So welcome to Nash County. We look forward to working with you. We have an excellent reputation throughout the state. The way our finances run, the county is in excellent shape, and we just look forward to getting to know you and working with you. And at any time, any board member could help you. We are always accessible. Our board is very involved in everything we do, and we just like to hear from you. And you may not like it, but you will hear from us from time to time as well. Anyone else wish to say anything? I'll be glad to hear from other commissioners if you like, but I'm very excited, even though we were very disappointed to hear Ms. Wood going to do something else. But apparently she's doing a job that she will continue to help Nash County, as we understand.
Absolutely.
And that's wonderful.
It's an important job she's doing.
Yep.
So. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mary,
Mary? I think Mr. Harrington wants to say something.
yeah, I was going to say that, you know, we can never fill someone else's shoes, but we expect you to fill your own shoes. And as you fill your own shoes, we hope that you will be successful as our finance director. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right, that was item number 6, and our manager has more good news this morning, and so we'll move on to item number 7, which is the introduction of the new taxes administrator.
And I will look for Marion. Please. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are pleased to welcome Marion Cascone as the new Nash County Tax Administrator. Marion brings many years of experience in public service and real estate appraisal, and we are excited to have her join our team. Most recently, she worked for Franklin County Tax Office and has served as their tax administrator since 2022. Marion has 21 years of real estate appraisal experience outside of the public sector, including owning and operating her own appraisal business in Florida for many years. After moving to North Carolina in 2015, Marion joined the North Carolina Real Estate Appraisers Association. She served on the association's legislative committee and represented the organization at the Appraisal Foundation Advisory Council in Washington, D.C. As tax administrator of Nash County, Marion strives to further increase public confidence through the fair, equitable, and efficient collection of taxes and administering tax laws with accuracy, transparency, and empathy. She is excited about this new challenge and looks forward to serving the citizens of Nash County. Marion will begin her new role on August 15th. Please help us welcome Marion to Nash County.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. Good morning.
I wish to thank you all for this appointment. I am deeply humbled and honored to serve as your Nash County Tax Administrator. This is a moment of personal honor, but also of deep personal responsibility that I do not take lightly. Thank you so much, and I look forward to all the relationships I'm yet to make here at Nash County. I hope you all will have a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am, and we want to thank you again. Ditto everything we just said for the finance director. Y'all's 2 roles are extremely important to any county, and the last time we went to Franklin County to get our tax assessor, it turned out very well, and of course, no doubt that it will be the same this time as well. Do you have anyone with you this morning, first of all?
Yes, sir. I have my daughter.
Okay.
My daughter, Christine.
Christine, would you stand up, Christine? Pleased that you have loaned your mother to us this morning and moving forward. I don't need to tell you, Christine, you came in at a very good time because we are just finishing up our reval, and you get about 8 years maybe worth of less headache, but still a lot of headache. And I think we do have a couple more things that we have to iron out, so you'll get the opportunity to help us in September do that as well. But anytime this board could help you, we would be willing to do that. Call us anytime, and I hope your door's open for us to check in with you as well as we have questions, but appreciate you considering and agreeing to come to Nash County.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Any other commissioner wish to say anything? I'll always ask.
Mary.
Say is welcome, and we look forward to you being very efficient and doing the job that needs to be done.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Harrington?
Mary, like our finance director, she wore shoes, but our tax Director, she wear boots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very true.
I hope you learn how to wear boots, or that we will look forward to you filling your own boots. And we welcome you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. As you can see, we have a lot of good news this morning, and item number 8 is another excellent news. It is a very great honor for anyone to receive an Order of the Longleaf Pine. It's not many of those that are issued by the governor, and we have one this morning that has been awarded to a previous employee. And rather than me spill the beans, I will ask Brent Fisher to come forward and make the presentation at this time. Brent?
His brother Bryant.
Excuse me, it says Bryant, but it says to Brent. And as you know, I've always had trouble telling y'all apart. Anyway, from the first time I met you two at Red Oak, when one of you jogged and one of you didn't, I never knew which one was jogging.
We're used to it, so
I apologize for that.
that's certainly fine. Well, good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I stand before you this morning requesting your approval to present Brent Fisher with the Order of the Longleaf Pine. The Order of the Longleaf Pine is an honor granted by the state of North Carolina to individuals who have shown extraordinary service to the state. It is the highest award for state service granted by the Office of the Governor. Nominations can be made for individuals with 30 years or more service to the state of North Carolina. I would like to take a moment to read some of Brent's biography and some of his accomplishments during his career. Brent was raised in the Red Oak community and graduated from Northern Nash High School in 1988. Brent graduated in 1990 from North Carolina State University with an associate's degree in ornamentals and landscape technology with an agribusiness concentration. Brent also graduated in 2002 from Wilson Technical College with an associate's degree in fire protection technology. Brent's entire working career was with Nash County Emergency Services, where he served in multiple divisions. Brent began his career as a part-time 911 telecommunicator on September 1, 1992, and transitioned to a full-time 911 telecommunicator on September 1, 1993. In 1996, Brent moved over to the Fire Marshal's office as a deputy fire marshal, where he conducted North Carolina Fire Code enforcement inspections and coordinated and participated in the county's fire service program. In addition, Brent helped coordinate the Nash County Rookie School for firefighters from the 15 volunteer fire departments here in Nash County. In 2007, Brent became the Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator. His duties included multi-hazard planning, hazard mitigation planning, Emergency Operations Center, or EOC, coordination, and response to emergency scenes. Brent was also charged with the responsibilities of the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act and the Tier 2 reporting with our local industries. In 2014, Brent was promoted to Assistant Director of Emergency Management and Fire Rescue Services. Brent was responsible for the planning, organizing, and directing of all activities of the division. During Brent's career with Nash County Emergency Services, he also served in the following capacities: Chairman of the Nash County All Hazards Local Emergency Planning Committee from 2006 to February of 2024, Chairman of the North Carolina Homeland Security Domestic Preparedness Region 4, or as we refer to it, DIPR 4, from 2016 to 2023, Chairman of the Nash Community College Public Safety Emergency Management Advisory Committee from 2018 to 2024, was a past president of the state's North Carolina Emergency Management Association from 2019 to 2020. With the North Carolina Emergency Management Association, Brent also served as second vice president, first vice president, and past president. He has volunteered with the Red Oak Volunteer Fire Department since 1992, where he has served in many leadership roles, including Assistant Fire Chief from 2006 to 2016 and 2023 to the present. Credentialed as a Planning Section Chief with the North Carolina All Hazard Incident Management Team, and was appointed by Governor Roy Cooper as a commissioner on the North Carolina State Emergency Response Commission from 2023 to 2024. And some of his current certifications that he holds is Level 2, North Carolina Firefighter, North Carolina Emergency Medical Technician, North Carolina Hazardous Materials Operator, Certified Fire Instructor, Certified Level 3 Fire Code Inspector, Certified Planning Section Chief, National Incident Management System Instructor. So today, I have the honor and privilege of presenting my brother, Walter Brent Fisher, with the Order of the Longleaf Pine. I will read the order. State of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Governor, reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of Walter Brent Fisher, I do by these presents confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine, with the rank of Ambassador Extraordinary, privileged to enjoy fully all rights granted to members of this exalted order, among which is the special privilege to propose the following North Carolina toast in select company anywhere in the free world. And the toast is, here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. Signed, Roy Cooper, Governor, July 1, 2024.
Chairman, would you like to come down and get a picture?
I'll do whatever I'm directed to do, ma'am.
Chairman, would you like to come down and get a picture?
I kept it short. Brent's got some of his family here. I don't know if they want to come up.
It would be great to have them come up and take a picture, and then we'll have a few words for you that you have prepared, I'm sure. Yes, sir. I'm always ready.
Thank you.
Well, let me first say thank you. I've told several since I've heard of being awarded this award that I don't know that I deserve it, but I am very appreciative of this award, and there's so many before me and that I've worked with that probably deserve this more than I do, but I certainly do appreciate it. Again, I do want to recognize my lovely wife, Ashton Reed, my oldest son, Rylan, my middle son, and my lovely daughter, Olivia. Ashton's father, Mr. Steve Jones, is in the audience here, and I also want to recognize all my co-workers, and I still call them co-workers even though I don't work here anymore, but I still do support them, and I do have a lot of trust in their abilities, and I'm here to help them anytime that I can. But also I want to recognize former directors that I've served under, the late Dave Cobble, Mr. Brian Brantley, Mr. Scott Rogers, and Mr. Tony Cameron, which I think is the one that initiated this award for me, so I certainly do appreciate that. Also appreciate the support from the county commissioners over the years.
30 years, 31 years was a long time, and Bryant reading off what he read off, I don't know how I accomplished that, but I guess it did take 30 years to do all those things. But we do have a professional staff that still works here, and I'm proud of them, and I certainly do appreciate the recognition today. And thank you to the manager's office. They've always been supportive of us as well, and as of me, and I certainly do appreciate it. Let's see if there's anybody I've missed. Let's see, we got Dale and Heather and Kelly and Tripp, Mr. Tripp Bunn, Chris and Chase and Karen back there and our EMS folks. I certainly do appreciate them being here this morning also. So thank you again.
Well, on behalf of the board, Brent, I don't really know what to say. Everybody in the county knows you and your brother, and the job that y'all have done. I guess all of us have wondered from time to time. And I must ask, which one did the jogging most of the time?
Well, it depends on what year.
Okay, is that the way it worked? Okay.
Bryant started it one year, then he stopped and I picked it up and ran for about 4 years down at the Red Oak Park and down Red Oak Battleboro Highway and
Right.
around the
Okay.
area.
No wonder I stayed confused.
Yeah.
Now I got it.
We try to keep people on their toes.
Right. Well, you do a good job of it, you sure do. But Nash County certainly appreciates the job that you Fishers have done for us all these years, and I know you'll continue to do it in your new job that you have. It seems like a lot of our great people move on to a state job of some kind, and that makes us feel somewhat good because we know we are still having your support in Nash County, and the citizens are. But getting this Longleaf Pine Award is a very prestigious award, as you have stated, and you know there are not that terribly many issued each year by the governor. But it certainly, you question whether you deserved it or not. I don't think this board has any question whatsoever that you do indeed deserve it. And just on behalf of the board, I appreciate everything you've done for Nash County, the citizens of Nash County, and what you will continue doing in the future. And I would at this time ask if any other board member wishes to say anything. Don't mean to put them on the spot, but it's just a courtesy that I always try to do and feel like I should do. Other comments?
Well, I remember, Brian, back when I was working for the county, and I was a 4-H agent and working with EMS and the fire department. And that's when I learned you. And I noticed not only your work, all of them within the department. And I went to state meetings and I told them that you can't find a better department than you find in Nash County. They're well trained, they're proud of it. And I watch, go to classes at night, and stay 2 to 3 hours.
Yes, sir.
Then get ready next morning to go to work.
Yes, sir.
So I'm proud of it.
Thank you.
That Longleaf Pine honor, to me, is great because one in my family also received it about 10 years ago. So it's a great award, but you do have to have an impact out here in your community as well as in the state in order to receive it.
Yes, sir.
And you've done it.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wilkins?
I just wanted to say, in the short time I've known you, it's been my honor. The Order of the Longleaf Pine is something to really, commend you on. The governor doesn't, I don't think, issue those lightly. So I appreciate the service, and the time I've been here, you've been a big help, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Brent, congratulations on your award. You've had quite a career here in Nash County, and we appreciate you committing that here locally, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't let those running shoes get dust. Since we're talking about shoes, I know you're going to make sure that you keep those running shoes on so you continue to serve the citizens like you have.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations and enjoy your award.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
All right, we done? Other comments?
Just ditto, and thank you, Brent. And, you know, there's only one left now, so I don't know. You have to look after him.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I do want to mention two other people. Ms. Shannon Lee, she's been a great partner of mine through the years with the health department. I couldn't have done a lot of the things that I've done with emergency management, especially EOC operations. So I did want to recognize Shannon also, and also Mr. Lewis Smith, who also now works for the state and came in today to be here also. So thank you for him being here as well. But again, thank you.
Which one is Lewis? Oh, okay, I see him now. Great.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you moving forward. And so Nash County will continue with great news. We'll move to number 9, which is the introduction of the 4-H youth attending the association meeting, which is coming up at the end of this week. And I'll call on Sandy Hall at this time to make this presentation to Paige Strickland.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nash County Extension is excited again to have another bright young person represent Nash County 4-H at your upcoming North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Conference. I am sure the great Extension people of the North Central Extension District have a wonderful first night planned for you in Winston-Salem. However, I'm a little partial to the one we hosted last year in Raleigh and hope they will meet those standards as well. So today, I'm here to introduce to you Ms. Paige Strickland, a Nash County active 4-H member. Paige is going to take a moment to share a little bit about herself, but I wanted to take a moment to brag about a couple recent accomplishments that she won. So just a couple weeks ago, we had North Carolina State Congress in which Paige presented in the 4-H State Presentation Public Speaking Contest. You will see why in a moment that she won gold at the state level. Also, at this event at State Congress, she was announced to represent North Carolina 4-H in November at the National 4-H Congress in Atlanta, Georgia. She was one of 13 across the state selected to attend, in which she earned her spot competing in the 4-H ARI program, which represents application, interview, resume, and essay. She is an outstanding young lady that has been very successful in her 4-H career. Paige is looking forward to joining you all for a luncheon this year. Right before she joins you all for the lunch, it's not a breakfast this year, she will have completed an interactive workshop called Find Your County's Bottom Line. Well, she will have the opportunity to work in small groups, acting as Board of County Commissioners to first decide what values are more important to their counties, and through simulation, work through scenarios that will force them to choose between cutting programs, services, or increased taxes, fees in order to balance an annual budget. I'm sure after this experience, she will have questions, and it will help have conversation with you at the luncheon. Now, I'd like to invite Paige to come up forward and to present her information about herself, and then we will need to take a picture to submit to the commissioners. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. My name is Paige Strickland. I am the daughter of Suzanne and Glenn Strickland of Nashville, and I have a brother named James Parker Strickland. I also am a rising senior at Faith Christian School in Rocky Mount, and looking forward, I hope to attend either the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where I have been nominated for the Moorhead Kane Scholarship, or North Carolina State University, where I have applied for the Park Scholarship. At either of these universities, I plan to study biology and neuroscience in pursuit of a career as a neurologist. Moving into why I'm really here today, I have been a 4-H'er for 8 years here in Nash County, where I participated in several project areas. These include livestock showing, presentations, cooking through the Dinah Gore Food Challenge, shooting sports, and more. Through the years I've spent in this organization, I've grown very passionate about being a 4-H'er. The experiences I've taken part of in 4-H are all very dear to my heart. Whether it be winning my first presentation competition or receiving the honor of Reserve Champion Showman with Market Goats. However, all my experiences haven't always been without hiccups. For example, last year when I was preparing for the annual East Carolina Livestock Show and Sale, my steer, Pancake, jumped his fence and sent us on a 3-week-long mad cow chase.
Wow.
So, whether it be chasing a cow through the woods or cooking for a state competition, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in 4-H. And I am very excited to continue my 4-H experiences with the North Carolina's Association of County Commissioners Youth Summit. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you again at the conference.
Thank you, ma'am. I should have asked you when I spoke to you earlier, do you have anybody with you this morning?
Nobody except Miss Sandy.
Okay, that's great. That's all you need. But I did want you to introduce any family members if you did have them. Mr. Belfield, I'm sure you have some words of wisdom on this subject matter, been the expert on the board. I'll open up to any comments the board members wish to make.
It's a wonderful thing that you bring them to the county commissioners' annual conference.
It is.
And one of the emphasis is responsibility and leadership. And they learn that also in 4-H, but we take it that they could, once they become an adult, how they can get involved in their community in leadership. And I think it's a great thing. One of our state presidents back, I can't call her now, I believe it was her name, back when she was chairman, president rather, of our association, said she thought it was a good idea to bring the youth and the board, and everybody agreed, and we've been doing it ever since, each year at the state conference. So you'll have fun, you'll enjoy the week.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you when you get there. And probably we'll be in maybe one of your sessions. And usually you have a breakfast session, and I'm planning.
I think they said it would be at lunch this time, so
Yeah.
don't miss the luncheon then. Other comments from board members? Commissioner Leggett?
Paige, good to see you this morning. I'm super proud of you and what you've accomplished so far, and really look forward to seeing what you'll accomplish in the future, and look forward to seeing you at our annual conference this week.
Thank you.
Well, if there are no other comments, I will say one thing. We have been doing this quite a while, having the 4-H person come up and speak, and you seem to be as poised or more poised than any of them before. Great job. You don't seem to be nervous whatsoever, so you're halfway there. I think it may have something to do with your first name. I happen to be married to one myself, and she's not bashful at all either. But great job on your speaking this morning, and I do hope you have a great time in the conference coming up. And at this time, if you don't mind stepping up, and Sandy, if you would come with her as well, right back up here, I'm going to get your picture that you need, or get our picture done. So walk right that way and come right up on the podium if you would.
We're going to give her a... We do a group picture.
We'll let you be the leader here for just a moment. If y'all want to stand up and come in behind here, it'd be a better picture, I think.
You look better than Robbie Davis.
It doesn't take much, does it, Barbara?
Maybe one day.
That's right.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Great. I don't know that we've ever had this many good news items on our agenda at the beginning, but we'll move on now to number 10, which is another great item for Nash County. It is a economic development inducement agreement, public hearing for Project Lego, and I'll call on Susan Phelps at this time to present this to the board. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm here today to present a resolution or an inducement agreement for Project Lego in partnership with the town of Nashville. So I'll read the details that'll be in the inducement agreement, ask for a public hearing, and then to approve that agreement subject to council, company council, and county attorney approval. Whereas the Local Development Act of 1925, NC General Statute 158, 7.1, authorizes cities and counties to make appropriations for the purposes of aiding and encouraging the location of manufacturing enterprises and to assist in locating industrial and commercial plants in the county, which will, in the discretion of the governing body and city, increase population, taxable property, and business prospects of the city and/or county. Whereas Nash County has been requested to make an economic incentive grant to an industrial industry that has indicated its intent to create a substantial number of jobs at its facility and make a substantial capital investment in machinery and equipment at its facility. The Nash County Board of Commissioners believes that the company's substantial commitment to the construction of the company's facility in Nash County will increase the population of Nash County, increase the tax base of Nash County, create substantial tax revenues, and generally serve the citizens of Nash County by increasing in employment in Nash County and the generation of tax revenues for the county. Nash County Board of Commissioners proposes to appropriate the company as an economic inducement 50% of the net increase in ad valorem taxes resulting from the company's expansion and substantial capital investment in machinery and equipment, and to pay such percentage for 5 years beginning April 1st, 2028 and continuing through April 1st, 2032. The percentage shall be based upon the company's capital investment and the company's increase of its net ad valorem tax value within Nash County at a minimum of investment of $12 million, and the creation of 24 jobs with an average wage of $60,000 a year in the company's operation of the facility. On August 5th, a public hearing will be held for Nash County Board of Commissioners to consider the appropriation and approval of the economic incentive grant and approval of an inducement agreement containing the associated terms and specific conditions that apply to this grant. So therefore, Nash County Board of Commissioners will hold a public hearing at 9 o'clock or soon thereafter on Monday, August 5th in the Commissioners' room on the 3rd floor of the Administration Building to consider and take action on this economic incentive grant related to the inducement agreement. So we ask that you hold the public hearing and then approve the inducement subject to formal agreement being finalized by company counsel and county attorney. And again, this is in partnership with the town of Nashville, who will also take action on this item at their meeting tomorrow night.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Phelps. Any questions from Ms. Phelps at this time? Thank you, ma'am. I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing on this item.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett, second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in a public hearing and would be delighted to hear from anyone in the public that wishes to speak on this inducement agreement that Ms. Phelps has just outlined for us. It is a great company. It is an exciting company, quite frankly. It's something different for Nash County, and I'm certainly pleased that we have the opportunity to at least look into this, but we really need to hear from the public. So if there's anyone that wishes to speak on this item, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. I don't see any movement, so I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time.
So moved.
Close the public hearing.
Have a motion by Commissioner Belfield, a second by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Public hearing is now closed, and I would entertain any discussion from the board at this time on this matter, questions or discussion. Any questions from board members? This is the type thing that we do get appraised on in closed session up to the point it becomes a public hearing. And I'll just say a couple of things for those that may question what we do here, but the way Nash County generally does our inducement agreements, it is not a chance that Nash County will lose any taxpayers' money doing this like you read happens sometimes in the state for various industries that are recruited. We do it where it is a situation where the company receives a portion of their tax that they pay property tax, and that's only done after the property tax is paid. So I think that's an important item, and I'm tickled that this board has chosen to do it this way. I won't say that there won't be a time when we need to consider a different way of doing it, but for many, many years, this is the approach that we have taken, and it just is a very safe way of doing it. I'll tell you, it is important for us to continue to grow our total assessed value, and $12 million in this case is the minimum that they're going to spend in Nash County, and that's the trigger point for when these inducements move forward. Anything up to that point, there would not be any rebates, and I don't really like rebates. I don't know what the proper word is. Susan, can you help me with that?
Not rebates.
Not rebates, you're correct on that, but whatever the correct word to say that is, I know rebate is not a good word. But also the jobs, it's not a huge number of jobs, but if you look at the average wage, it is $60,000 each year, and quite frankly, in Nash County, that is a pretty good wage, and it would have to be at that also to trigger this inducement that we are getting ready to vote on. But any other questions from the board prior to me calling for a vote? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the inducement subject to the formal agreement being finalized by the company counselor as well as Mike Gaynor, our own county attorney, reviewing the final documents. Is there a motion to that matter?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Outlaw. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. And this is a motion to approve the inducement agreement. Any questions on the motion on the floor at this time? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Ms. Phillips, thank you for the presentation. I'm going to stay right on the agenda as we have it presented here. The next item is a public hearing on conditional rezoning request CZ 240701, Castleberry Section 3 subdivision, and I'll call on Aaron Chalker at this time to make this presentation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
They left you here this morning, I see.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
that's
sir.
Great.
I'll be filling in for our planning director, Adam Tyson, this morning. He always does a great job, so I'll do my best in his absence.
You'll do great, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we have a conditional rezoning request on Castleberry Section 3 residential subdivision. So the subject property is outlined in red on your screen. It is a 36.98 acre undeveloped tract of land owned by H&S Land LLC. It's located at the southwest corner of Oak Level Road and Barnes Hill Church Road with a Nashville address. It is primarily in the R30 single and two family residential zoning district and is located to the southeast of the town of Nashville. The site is located behind and immediately adjacent to 10 already developed residential lots established along Barnes Hill Church Road on the west side, and is directly across Barnes Hill Church Road from the Castleberry Subdivision Section 1, which was developed in 2007, and Castleberry Section 2, which was developed in 2020. A manufactured home formerly located at 1746 Barnes Hill Church Road has since been removed from the property. And I have some context to share for this project that'll help you understand a little bit better why this rezoning has been submitted. So in May of 2022, the Nash County Planning Board approved a sketch plan for the development of the Castleberry Section 3 subdivision on this subject property, which included 36 proposed new residential lots. The sketch plan used the cluster development option to reduce the standard 30,000 square foot minimum lot size for this zoning district to as little as 20,000 square feet per lot in exchange for providing designated shared common areas for the residents. However, in May of 2023, that sketch plan was allowed to expire when no preliminary construction plat was submitted by the developer within 1 year of the subdivision's initial approval date, and that is cited in Article 10 of the Nash County UDO. In September of 2023, the Nash County Board of Commissioners repealed the cluster development option, removing it from the Unified Development Ordinance altogether. That was text amendment case file A230801. In order for the developer to subdivide a total of 36 new residential lots from the subject property, as included on the previously approved but now expired sketch plan, without using the now unavailable cluster development option, the subject property would have to be rezoned to permit minimum lot areas of 20,000 square feet. A review of county records has determined that the Castleberry Section 3 subdivision is a unique case in that it is the only expired cluster subdivision plan that includes lots with less than 30,000 square feet of area. While there are 3 other expired cluster subdivision plans on record, which include Newton's Grove subdivision, Green Pond Loop Road subdivision, and the Hidden Oak subdivision, those plans do not include lots with less than 30,000 square feet of area. So they would be able to be reapproved in the future with a rezoning of subject properties to the RA 30 zoning district, which would be consistent with the comprehensive land use plan recommendation that residential lots should include a minimum area of 30,000 square feet. This Castleberry Section 3 subdivision that is proposed is the only expired cluster subdivision plan on record that can only be reapproved with a rezoning of the subject property to the RA 20 zoning district, which would be inconsistent with the comprehensive land use plan's recommendation that residential lots should include a minimum area of 30,000 square feet. So now I'll move into the specific of the rezoning request. The property owner and developer has submitted this conditional rezoning request CZ 240701 to rezone the subject property to RA20 CZ, medium density residential conditional zone, specifically for the development of the proposed 36 lot Castleberry Section 3 subdivision. Approval of this request would have 3 substantial impacts on the subject property. Number 1, the required minimum lot area would be reduced from 30,000 square feet to 20,000 square feet, slightly increasing the potential residential density. Number 2, double-wide manufactured homes and duplexes, which are permitted for development in the current R30 zoning district, would no longer be permitted for development under the proposed RA20 CZ district. And number 3, the subject property may only be developed in accordance with the proposed subdivision sketch plan. And of course, the conditional nature of this rezoning request allows for the attachment of reasonable site-specific development conditions with the consent of the applicant. So now we'll move into the description of the sketch plan, which is now on your screen. The sketch plan, which serves as the required site plan for this conditional rezoning request, proposes the development of 36 new residential lots and 1 special purpose lot for wetlands conservation along 3 new public road rights-of-ways. And that special purpose lot is located on the left side in the top left of this plan. 34 of the new lots would be accessed from the new interior roads, with lots 35 and 36 accessed directly from Barnes Hill Church Road and Oak Level Road, respectively. The sketch plan proposes stub road connections to the properties located to both the south and west of the subject tract in order to allow for potential interconnectivity with future adjacent residential development. Each of the new lots must either meet or exceed the 20,000 square foot minimum lot area and 100-foot minimum lot width requirements of this district, but only 7 of the proposed new lots, which are lots 1 through 4 and lots 31 through 33, would actually include less than the standard 30,000 square foot minimum lot area already permitted under the subject property's current zoning district. The new lots would be served by a proposed extension of the Nash County public water system and by private on-site septic systems. So now we'll look at the future land use map of the comprehensive land use plan, which is now on your screen. So this request is consistent with some recommendations of the 2022 Nash County Comprehensive Land Use Plan for this designated residential agricultural area. And as you can see on the map, this property is in the residential agricultural area as shown by the green color. Number one, the plan recommends that rezonings allowing for greater residential density in this area should be limited to RA districts only, which prohibit the development of manufactured homes, unless both public water and sewer service is available. And in this case, only public water is available, so the RA district is consistent with what the plan recommends. Number two, the plan also recommends that the Nash County public water system be extended and utilized in areas such as this one where it is already available, and that is part of the proposed subdivision sketch plan. However, the request is inconsistent with the plan's recommendation that the minimum allowable residential lot area within the county's planning jurisdiction should typically be at least 30,000 square feet due to the 7 proposed new lots that would each include less than 30,000 square feet. So, and to summarize there, so 7 lots that are proposed would be less than 30,000 square feet, and the other 29 would meet the current requirement of 30,000 square feet. So now we'll take a look at reasonableness and spot zoning in regards to this request. So on your screen, we have a map that shows the lots within a quarter mile of this proposed site where there are lots that are less than 30,000 square feet. So the property is located within a quarter mile of a total of 63 similar already existing residential lots with less than 30,000 square feet of area. 36 of these lots, and I'll try and use my cursor to show on the map, 36 of these lots are located in the Castleberry Section 2 subdivision, directly across Barnesville Church Road. 27 of these lots are located in the Oak Level Crossing Cluster subdivision, which is across Oak Level Road. And then additionally, to the north, a total of 65 additional residential lots with less than 30,000 square feet of area have been recently approved by the Planning Board in February of this year for the Bass Farm subdivision. And that property was an existing R20 zoning, and that's how the Planning Board was able to approve that. Number two, while approval of the request would permit slightly smaller minimum lot areas and increase residential density, the new zoning district is also more restrictive in terms of permitted land uses than the current zoning district because it prohibits the development of manufactured homes and duplexes. Number three, the location of the subject property between the town of Nashville to the west and the city of Rocky Mount to the east is already a more suburban area than most of the county's more rural and developed jurisdiction. And finally, number four, the subject property already is and will continue to be zoned for residential use similar to adjacent and surrounding properties. The Nash County Technical Review Committee considered this rezoning request on June 27, 2024, and in a split vote of 5-1, the TRC recommended denial of the request, finding that the approximately 2 additional residential lots that would result from the approval of the proposed rezoning did not justify a deviation from the Comprehensive Land Use Plan's recommendation that the minimum allowable residential lot area within the county's planning jurisdiction should be at least 30,000 square feet. And then on July 15, 2024, the Nash County Planning Board considered this rezoning request. Ron Sutton with Herring Sutton Associates addressed the board on behalf of the applicant and in support of that request. The following members of the public address the board with questions regarding water drainage, the suitability of the site soils for on-site septic systems, and the proposed filling of the existing pond located on the subject property. And their names were Arlene O'Keefe and Mary E. Arrington. With a split vote of 6-2, the planning board recommended approval of the request, subject to the development conditions listed below. And in your packet, we have suggested motions for approval and denial. Under the approval motion, we have the development conditions that were attached to the planning board's recommendation. They are fairly standard to any residential rezoning that we see in Nash County, but I do want to call your attention to condition number 6, and I believe these conditions are on page 15 of your packet. Number 6 reads, following construction of the subdivision, the existing home located at 1730 Barnes Hill Church Road shall be assigned a new address. So 1730, and I'll use my cursor on the screen to display that. 1730 is the existing lot here. That would be next to the newly constructed road if this plan were approved. Currently, their driveway comes off of Barnes Hill Church Road in the location of where this proposed road would go. That is actually on the property owner's land. And so if and when this road were to be constructed, that home would have to be assigned a new address in coordination with the Nash County GIS staff. And so with that, I'll pause and we'll take any questions from the board before we go into a public hearing.
Any questions of Aaron at this time from a board member?
I've got a quick question. The subdivision sketch plan here, if the existing R30 zoning was used, how different would this look?
So it's my understanding that they would lose approximately 2 lots, and so you'd be looking at 34 lots versus 36. And Mr. Sutton is here on behalf of the applicant, and I'll let him speak to that as well. He's the site designer, but that's my understanding.
One more question. Barnes Hill Church Road is getting to be a pretty busy road. Who makes the decision about turn lanes, and is that even an option at this point with having houses on both sides?
Right, so that would be up to the North Carolina Department of Transportation, and that would be something they take a look at once it gets to the construction approval phase. So after the sketch plan, they would take a look at when the applicant applies for a driveway permit for that new road that comes off of Barnes Hill Church Road. At that time, before NCDOT would approve any plans, they would complete an analysis, and if a turn lane was required, it would have to be installed as part of that driveway permit.
How would that work if there's houses on both sides and turn lanes? Okay.
Right.
Just construct a turn lane.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions, comments from commissioners or staff at this time? Thank you, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing on this rezoning matter at this time.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wilkins. You sound a little different. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a public hearing at this time, which means we would be delighted to hear from anyone that's here this morning wishing to speak on this rezoning matter, either for or against it. And I'll take it in any order that you wish to come forward. So when you get to the podium, if you just state your name and address for the record. So who wishes to speak on this item this morning? Good morning, Mr. Sutton.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Davis and members of the board, my name is Ron Sutton with Harry & Sutton Associates, and I'm here representing the owner of this project. My address is 2201 Nash Street, Northwest Wilson, North Carolina. First, I'd like to say that we concur with the recommendation of the planning board to the commissioners that this special use permit be approved. Would point out that basically what we have is a unique situation. It was a planned parcel that was started prior to the change in the regulations, and the land was purchased based upon being able to develop 36 single-family residential lots on the property. From the original approval back 2 years ago, there have been some modifications in lot lines to actually reduce the number of lots that are less than 30,000 square foot from approximately half to 7, which is about 20%. We feel that's a positive. Second, in trying to address two of Ms. Leggett's questions, number one, lots, if the rezoning was not approved, which we hope that's not the case, number one, that lots 1 through 4 would become 3 lots instead of 4, and lots, I believe it's 31 through 34, of those 31, 32, and 33, of those 4, one of them is in excess of 30, the other are less than 30, you would lose one of those, and the reason for, in both cases, would be to meet the 30,000 square foot. As it is now, based upon the layout, we feel confident that we can obtain on-site septic tank permits for all the lots as currently configured. There still may need to be some minor modification, but in no case would we see a situation where there would be less than 7 lots, less than 30,000 square feet. And that's basically in discussions with the planning director, that is what he's looking at here. He's looking at 7 as being not, if anything over 7 is not in compliance with the conditional use zoning if granted. Number 2, to address your question about the turn lane on Barnes Hill Church Road, we already have approval of plans and driveway permits from the NCDOT. And even in the very beginning, when we first sat down and discussed this, we had meetings with DOT and county staff. And it was determined at that time that with the interconnectivity with the adjoining land, that a turn lane would not be required in this location. And the NCDOT has issued a driveway permit for construction of the road based upon that. Would also note that the entrance road going in is going to be curb and guttered because of having to, we couldn't put in drainage ditch, side DOT standard ditches there because of it getting on adjoining people's property. So that entrance roadway will be curb and guttered. Would point out that the desire here is to develop this property as a single-family stick-built residential subdivision. That's why we have tried to provide great assurance to the surrounding neighbors that some of the uses allowed in our zoning that's currently zoned, which are manufactured homes, which are duplexes, and even goes farther than that, it goes to group homes, nursing facilities, and facilities like this. In our request for conditional use zoning, we also asked that they be prohibited also. So we're really limiting this to a single-family stick-built residential subdivision, even to the point that we're also willing to restrict the construction of modular homes, which are allowed under the building code, but it's 2 different type homes. And so we are looking for a single-family stick-built subdivision here. With that, I'll be glad to answer any questions any member of the Board of Commissioners have or any member of the public. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions of Mr. Sutton while he's at the podium from a board member? Ms. Leggett?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
It was mentioned in here that the person that currently lives on, I think it's 1730 Barnes Hill Church Road, where the roadway is going to go in,
Yes, ma'am.
that they'll have to change their address.
Yes, that's what we've been informed by the county planning department, yes.
Okay, I just didn't know who would be responsible for doing that. There's, a lot of things, if you're an existing homeowner, you've been there a while, there's a lot of things associated with that. And, if they will be compensated in any way, or if they even knew that that would be an option when they moved in, that they might have to change their address in the future.
Ms. Leggett, I have not had any direct conversations with the property owner concerning that. Would point out that the property owner's driveway actually exits onto private property that they do not own. They do not have a driveway permit out onto Barnesville Church Road. And therefore, we would, they would have to access the property through the new roadway that was being built. So, but I have not had any conversation with them whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Other commissioners with questions?
You said you'd lose 2 lots if you had to go down to 30s.
Yes,
If
ma'am,
all
we
of them
would
had to be 30s.
Yeah, we would,
and when
there would be a reduction of 2 lots. Yes.
Reduction of 2 lots.
Yes, sir.
Well, you said when it was bought, they were assuming they were going to be able to do 20s. I'd be willing to bet you that the price of those lots are a whole lot more now than it would have been if you'd developed it a few years ago. So I just don't see where losing 2 lots is going to really matter money-wise.
Well, the only thing I can say to that, Commissioner Cohn, is that the property was not purchased until after the initial approval by Nash County Planning Department, Planning Board of the sketch plan. And that purchase was made based upon the understanding that they would be able to have 36 lots.
Was that purchase made before or after we changed the land development plan to 35?
It was made before the change in the land development plan. The purchase was. It was in words, the purchase was, in words, they proceeded with buying the property based upon a 36 lot layout. And, and what we're looking at was trying to protect their property rights also.
Other questions? Commissioner Arrington?
Yeah, well, I guess.
Yes, sir.
The follow-up on that is, what was your reason why you let the cluster subdivision plan expire before you?
Mr. Arrington, there is no good explanation for that. It did expire during the process, and normally you have to have all your approvals in place before you submit the plan back for preliminary plan approval. And during the course of 12 months, we were unable to get all the approvals necessary, which involved some wetlands issues, some buffer issues, as well as getting plans, engineering plans prepared for the project. So there was a number of items that went on that, in other words, we were not in a position to submit that preliminary plan prior to the expiration of the 1-year time period. In today's market and the way things have been the last few years, it's been a stretch on everyone to go from project to project and get things approved in what we used to look upon as a normal process. Okay. But that's the best explanation I have for you, Mr. Arrington.
Okay.
And that's a sincere and honest explanation.
Other questions of Mr. Sutton? Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item at this time while we're in public hearing? I see no movement, so I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett, says second to the motion. Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of a motion to close the public hearing at this time, please let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Public hearing is now closed, and I would open it up for any more discussion from the board at this time. Questions, comments?
Just a comment, I think this is more towards my fellow board members. Part of, I think, the reasoning on this rezoning is that it doesn't follow our new land use plan.
Correct.
And that's one thing that's kind of, I've had to weigh heavily in my position on this.
Well, I think it's worth noting that we started out this project thinking it was in Commissioner Outlaw's district, and we now have determined for sure, Aaron, that it is in Commissioner Leggett's district.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Seeing none, I would entertain
I'm going to say,
excuse me, go ahead,
well,
Mr. Harrison.
yes, it is inconsistent with our land use plan, but at the same time, I guess I like the position that it will only allow stick-built homes.
Okay. Understood. All right, if there's no other comments, I'd entertain a motion to adopt I'd entertain a motion to approve or deny this rezoning request and adopt a statement of plan consistency and reasonableness in the motion, whichever way the motion may be.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Leggett, you have the floor, ma'am.
thank you. In concordance with the findings of the Nash County Technical Review Committee, and in order to not deviate from the current comprehensive land use plan, I move to deny the conditional rezoning request, CZ 240701.
Okay, I have a motion to deny it, including the items stated on our agenda package. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Have two motions to second, Commissioner Outlaw, Commissioner Combs simultaneously. Any other questions on the motion? And the motion is to deny. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion as it stands, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion seems to carry unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Job well done, sir. All right, the next item on the agenda is number 12 is where we're at. It's a presentation of factual information in response to non-factual information shared in the media. And I just, on behalf of the board, like to give another explanation for this item on our agenda. It has become far too often that we have so much items that are reported in the media, whether it's social media, whether it's newspapers, whether it's radio stations, whether it's TV stations, that are just not factual, and it is damaging to Nash County. It is damaging to our Nash County staff, and it has gotten to the point where we just feel like we must address some of these items. The facts are important. I don't care what the subject matter is. It is this board's position that we always do our best to make our decisions based on facts. We have done that in the past. We will continue to do that. I realize we can't control the media. We do not wish to control the media. But what we do wish to do is make sure our public understands on any given subject matter what the facts indeed are. We're not here to criticize anyone. We're not here to prevent anyone from exercising their ability to say what they wish to say, when they wish to say it. But what we are here to do is to make sure that the citizens, which are always by far the majority, know what the facts are on any given subject. I hope we very quickly do not see the need to continue putting this item on there. But in the world we're in today, whether it's national, whether it's state, and unfortunately now whether it's local, it just seems to be a period of time in political unrest that it may be necessary for a little while, and I hope this board will agree to continue doing it. But with that said, this board has elected the manager that's in control of her staff, and I'll just say my own interest is to protect the staff that we have at Nash County. We have a great staff here. You've seen in the last 2 months us add no less than 4, or is it 5 new department heads?
3.
3? Okay, 2 today, 1 the last time.
Yes.
And I feel like we've got good people here that we have employed. But for good people to want to come to Nash County, we need a positive image in Nash County. And that's what our board is going to do our best to present on all subject matters. We've never had an issue filling our very important job openings with people that are extremely qualified. Every county or every municipality cannot necessarily say that. But that's part of the reason that this board feels the need to do this, is to just to be able to continue to employ the people that we need to employ to run the great county that we do have. And with that said, I will stop preaching because I'm not a preacher, and I'll turn it over to the manager at this time.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Belfield. Yes, sir.
I'm piggybacking off of your comments.
Yes, sir.
It seemed like that the news media would have some professionalism in them to check and see if information is factual. And some parts of the news media they believe in what the people giving them the information. They want to assist them in trying to get the public to believe their point. And what has happened, it looks like that the news media is going to end up being regulated, because I don't think the public as a whole will stand putting out false information just to push your political viewpoint or your political view, or to help you in trying to get elected. And it started at the national level, now it's filtering on down to the local level. And it has to stop. And it appears that maybe regulation is going to be the thing to stop it. Now, the
Point's well taken, Mr. Belfield, and I will turn it over to the manager at this time for her presentation.
Thank you. Okay, I was waiting for that to come up. And I'll be honest, I even made a comment to the chairman this morning that I didn't think that I wanted us to keep doing this, but seeing as how even in our public comment this morning, now our meeting has false information being shared, I'd like to go ahead and clear those items up real quick. At least two that were glaring to me was the reference of an interim director for EMS. I just want the public to know we do not have an interim director for EMS. EMS stands for Emergency Medical Services. We have a director, Dale Griffin is our Director of Emergency Medical Services, and we have a Deputy Director, Travis Green, is our Deputy Director for Emergency Medical Services. Mr. Cameron was in the position of Emergency Services Director. We do not have currently an Emergency Services Director. We have Tripp Charles Bunn functioning as the Director over Emergency Management in our Fire Marshal's office, and we have Bryant Fisher, who is our Director of our 911 Telecommunications Center. So our public needs to understand we have leadership in place covering all of those service areas for Nash County, North Carolina. The other misinformation that was shared this morning, and I would ask the mayor to kindly please stop saying that Mr. Cameron was threatened with termination. Mr. Boone was with me as my witness. We have never used the word termination in any way, shape, or form. So that is false information that is being shared and is now on our video for this meeting, and I needed to clear that up. And I need to ask my communication folks if they're going to click for me. Yes, thank you very much. So for this report today, the first false report that I want to address is that on July 10th, a social media post about our Nash County Pet Connection Center read, "A significant amount of dogs will be euthanized. Only 15 will remain. There is not enough staff to handle everything that is going on." The fact is that on July 10th, the Nash County Pet Connection Center was without HVAC and there were plumbing issues. Nash County made arrangements to house animals in temporary units in the parking lot with conditioned air, and some placements at our old animal shelter, and arrangements were made with the City of Rocky Mount for assistance with their shelter. No animals were euthanized. The second report that I'd like to address is on another post on social media. It's stated urgent. This is apparently owned by Nash County. Apparently, they are euthanizing dogs because of no air and a septic issue. So this was referring back to the first report that I gave. The fact is, when you're on social media, when you're on Facebook, if you click on the person or entity making the post, it'll take you to their page. And once you're at their page, you can read about who and what they are. Here it says Nash County Animal Friends and Paw NC, independent volunteer advocates for the homeless pets in the Nash County AC's shelter in North Carolina. We are not on site and are not employed by the shelter. And then you can see Nash County Animal Friends of North Carolina is in fact a nonprofit organization. It's not owned by Nash County government. You can see our logo there at the bottom of the page. And on the next slide, you can see what the Nash County Animal Friends of North Carolina looks like and what Nash County's page looks like. I would encourage our citizens to look for our Nash County logo when associating information with Nash County government. For the third false report, another post on social media on July 22nd stated, if you are a Nash County retiree, you had better call Blue Cross Blue Shield tomorrow to see if you have coverage. The premiums weren't paid last month, and now the premium is due this month. Claims are being denied. The fact is, typically payments to Blue Cross Blue Shield go out a month prior to the premiums being due. For example, June's premium was paid towards the end of May. Premiums were paid timely and applied to all pre-65 retiree accounts for the month of June 2024. Due to July being the beginning of the new fiscal year, Nash County was unable to pay July bills at the end of June. This is not a new practice. July payments are made the first week of July, which is the standard practice and does not pose an issue with our vendors, including Blue Cross Blue Shield. The payment for July's bill was mailed to Blue Cross Blue Shield on July 5th. That was approximately 17 days prior to this post. Blue Cross Blue Shield received the check in a different lockbox location than usual, which posed a delay as it had to be rerouted to the internal team that handles Nash County's account. No claims were denied for any retiree, as this post stated. We were mid-month and the paid coverage was still in effect. For the fourth false report, additional comments that were made. It's 2024. Isn't this handled electronically, and should it be automated, an automated draft each month? And then there was another post. I was also told someone in HR isn't returning phone calls. When in fact, Nash County made improvements in paying monthly premiums for our retirees in 2023 and took that administrative burden off of our retirees. We did so knowing that they did not offer an electronic option. Nash County is equipped and willing to pay premiums electronically. However, we're awaiting Blue Cross Blue Shield to allow this option. On the other note, there were 4 voicemails received related to this incident, and all phone calls were returned. In addition, our staff and our rep took the opportunity to actually make a phone call to every one of our retirees about this situation to ensure they didn't have any questions about it. The 5th false report, just a pretty poster to make citizens think they've done something. We agree, it is a pretty poster. The fact is, adjustments were made for the salaries for EMT Basic in the amount of a 13.5% increase. EMT Advanced received a 13.7% increase, and paramedics received a 19.3% increase. It's not just another pretty poster. False report number 6, an article in our local newspaper. During the Nash County Board of Commissioners meeting on June 17th, Deputy Manager Jonathan Boone presented EMS-related budget amendments for the 2024-25 fiscal year, a sweeping move that altered the salary structure by 5% for 12 positions. The fact, on June 17th, 2024, the Board of Commissioners adopted the fiscal year 25 budget ordinance, which provided a 5% cost of living adjustment to all Nash County employees. The budget ordinance also implemented the results of a salary study for public safety, that's emergency services and the sheriff's office, in the amount of $3.4 million. And I'll refer back to those increases that we were just sharing about our EMTs and paramedics. 7th false report, same newspaper article. While Nash County is reporting strides under Schatzer, Griffin, and Green, or at the very least, a greater degree of control over the crisis, the situation its residents face on a daily basis is dire. The fact, the residents of the southern part of the county continue to receive excellent service from Nash County EMS. Southern Nash County response times. For the month of June, from June 1 to June 30, the average response time in the southern part of the county was 10 minutes and 2 seconds. For July 1 to July 31st, the average response time for citizens in the southern part of the county was 10 minutes and 48 seconds. The 8th false report. It's going to cost an inordinate amount of money, he said, with respect to systematic repair. How much specifically, I don't know. But my guess is in excess of $6 or $7 million, a taxing sum for certain, joined by other costs. Because there are vehicle problems, you're going to have to pay employees a premium to get them to come to Nash County at this point, Strickland remarked, because you're going to have to fight on a daily basis with other counties that are much larger and much better funded than you are. The fact, Nash County has attracted over 25 applicants since July 1st. 8 full-time offers have been made and 7 accepted, and 1 part-time offer was made and accepted. Our fleet of ambulances totals 20, with 2 out of service and in the process of being replaced. Our fleet of QRVs totals 9, with 2 out of service and 2 with high mileage and we're currently working on securing 3 for replacements. The fact is, to push this narrative defeats Nash County's efforts to attract staff. An advocate would support, not deter, potential applicants. The fact is, despite the continued negative attention others wish to bring to our Nash County EMS, we are committed to staffing up our agency, providing excellent training, and successfully caring for our community. The 9th false report, a social media post. The problem still exists and will exist until we replace commissioners and the manager. No transparency, no accountability, lives of citizens at stake. Everything that is told to fighting crime is anonymous. I don't care who asked where it came from. Miss Nash County Manager told EMS employees instant termination if they talk to media. Why is she scared? The fact, I have never told any employee, EMS or otherwise, that they would be terminated if they talked to the media. I am not scared. One of my colleagues stated, there's a lot of freedom to indiscriminately post whatever you want when you don't have to cite a source. I have some additional notes here I'd like to read that won't be in front of you. Like many communities, Nash County is both a benefactor and a victim of social media. Social media is a powerful tool that can be used to disseminate information quickly and seamlessly to our residents and those abroad. Unfortunately, it is also a tool that can be used to spread false information just as easily. As responsible citizens, I would encourage users of social media to practice good digital citizenship. Digital citizenship is the ability to navigate our digital environments in a way that's safe and responsible, and to actively and respectfully engage in these spaces. Bullying behavior and posting, sharing, and promoting false information should not be tolerated. Check your sources, ask questions, make a phone call. As your county manager, I will be glad to have a civil conversation and answer any citizens' questions. Be good digital citizens. Practice respectful posting and encourage those in your circle of influence to do the same. One area we are currently having challenges involves social media posts related to emergency medical services. If anyone who has posted negative comments about our Nash County EMS, their staffing, their management, their pay, all you have done is made it harder for Nash County to recruit. This is not supportive and is self-defeating. You are defeating yourself, and you are defeating our efforts to recruit. Please consider being part of the solution. Help us share the truth, the lived experience of someone on the job. And I have a couple of examples to share. This is from an EMS employee. What I appreciate about Nash County EMS is the opportunity as it provided for professional growth and the chance to experience situations I never imagined. The shift I work and the colleagues I collaborate with have specifically contributed to my development as a provider. Although Nash County faces a high volume of patients with complex conditions, this reality presents us with unique challenges that enhances our knowledge and skills. Each day is different, offering diverse experiences. I particularly value teamwork and the wealth of knowledge I've gained from my coworkers, expertise in the field. I have one more I'd like to read to you. It's a little bit longer here. This letter is about good things Nash EMS has going on and contribute to at work. I came to Nash EMS after seeing firsthand the support and kindness offered towards me. You see, I came from a state job that I worked at for 22 years, making my way into management before retiring. In my younger years, I was heavily involved in fire and EMS and other County and Nash County was always the tip of the sword for EMS, and they set the standard, so I always heard they were the best in the area. Fast forward a bit, and after I retired early, I found myself wanting to pursue getting my paramedic, so I set off to school. While in school, I was approached by many good employees of Nash who were asking me to apply, so I did. Nash EMS took a chance on me, and I have been nothing but supportive ever since being hired 5 years ago. I have found that management at all levels have always helped me with any problem or concern I have. With so many negative things being said today, Nash EMS, I say, become part of the solution. You see, so many make negative comments and only know a part of the issue and not the reason why things may be done a particular way. With only a parcel of information, it's easy to make negative comments because the ones making the comment do not know the operation and what is going on at a particular moment. I see management working hard every day to keep the operation rolling, from truck maintenance to supplies to new equipment to staffing. It takes a lot of behind-the-scenes work to keep this operation moving. There have been many positive changes made over the last couple of years. In particular is the 24/72-hour rotation. Unless you have worked the other rotation we were on, it may be hard to understand. This new schedule gives you time to decompress, and that is good both mentally and physically. Nash EMS has moved to new cardiac monitors, and they are very good to work with. Nash EMS also has a very progressive protocol system in place, and I am a firm believer that this produces better patient outcomes overall. New trucks are being ordered and placed into rotation. Lucas devices have been added to QRVs, and that is good for doing CPR during transport, which is unsafe if you are doing it by hand going down the road. There have been management changes, and I see positive results in our operational changes. Like so many other departments, we are going through staffing issues. It's not only Nash County, but other counties as well, and I think that this is a post-COVID cycle with other counties working hard on recruitment just as we are. One of the biggest positive changes is the pay increase we have received. In comparison, we are right in line with other counties that are our size and have a higher acuity level like we do. In closing, I think Nash County EMS is moving forward in the right direction. We are all working as a team to make the operation flow, and that is taught from day one at Nash County EMS. I see things improving, but it's like anything else in life. It takes time. This particular gentleman put his name to his comments. I'm not going to share it. The first response did not, and it was shared that although they wanted to share their remarks, they did not want their name attached due to the toxic environment on social media. But those are two testimonials from staff working in our Nash EMS, one for 5 years and has gone through our major changes. So I would encourage anyone who has been posting and sharing negative comments to listen to that, think about what has been said, and help Nash County recruit. If we're ever going to get station 400, 500 staffed all the time, we need to have some positive energy out there, and our citizens can help us with that. And then the last thing that I wanted to share was about mutual aid, because we saw several posts out lately about, again, ambulances from other jurisdictions in our community. So I wanted to review again. This was in my slides last month. But Nash County has mutual aid with neighboring counties, and as part of the North Carolina Emergency Management System, all 100 counties have mutual aid. When you see posts on social media that an ambulance from a neighboring jurisdiction is assisting Nash County, that is the way the system is supposed to work. There's lots of comments about call the state, have the state come in and take over. Our citizens need to understand there is no such thing with EMS. There is no such thing as a state takeover from EMS. We have mutual aid with our neighboring counties. They come and help us, and we go and help them. I also wanted to take a moment to just review some call times with you because we had a lot of chatter on social media over the weekend. So I would like to share that over the weekend in our Bailey zip code, the average response time was 10 minutes and 16 seconds. Over the weekend in our Middlesex zip code, our average response time was 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Over the weekend in our Spring Hope zip code, our average response time was 10 minutes and 14 seconds. I just want to take a moment to thank our staff. As staff, I know what it feels like to see the negative comments out there, and I just want our staff to know how supported they are by this management team and our Board of Commissioners. They do a phenomenal job. Our office administration, our director, our deputy director, we're staffing a station this weekend. We support our staff. We want to do what we can do to put the best recruitment effort out there so that we can staff up and those that are tired and overworked can get the rest that they are due. But I want our staff to know how appreciated they are. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions from the board.
Any questions from our manager at this time?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Belfield, I'm going to call on Commissioner Wilkins next. I'll get you second, sir.
I don't have a question because I know what was said in the meeting with you and the EMS director and Mr. Boone is confidential personnel-wise, but reading the letter to the editor by the EMS director's wife, and it was also posted on social media, there was only one thing I wanted to clear up. It was one sentence that really disturbed me, and it said that she stated that she and the Board of Commissioners did not approve, she being you, that she stated that she and the Board of Commissioners did not approve of his style of leadership. And I just want to make clear, I was never asked about his style of leadership. I have never said I did not approve of his leadership because I wouldn't know. It's a personnel matter. And so I just want everyone to know, and if any other commissioners were asked, I wasn't asked. I was not asked for input. I did not know he resigned until I received an email, I think, later that day or the day after. And so I just want to make clear, Commissioner Gwen Wilkins did not say she did not approve of Mr. Cameron's leadership.
And I would ditto those comments from this commissioner.
Mr. Belfield, you had the floor, sir.
Oh, I was just going to ask, didn't we approve of some private companies to assist where they could be called
Mr. Belfield,
in times of need?
Sure. I think you're referring to transports, and we did do that, and we actually have it on the agenda a little later to do it again today, but that's not emergency calls, that is transport.
But we've done this for several years.
Oh, we've done it for a very long time on transports.
Yeah.
Make it clear, we're talking about transports in those documents, which I'm sure leadership will explain.
Well, to keep our local ones, the county, doing what they need to do and don't have to get into that transport.
That's correct. This board made a decision a year before last to get out of transports, and that is done entirely. I'm going to say entirely. I don't know that it'll be true, but majority of it is done by private enterprise. Other comments from board members?
I'd just like to say, I think it's a conception that this board hires and fires people. This board don't have authority to hire anybody except the county manager. We don't know nothing about the situations that was handled in the manager's office, about the EMS director. We didn't know anything about the new tax collector till today. We have nothing to do with it. It's all administrative management decision, and it's not a board of commissioners.
Other thoughts?
Just one additional thought. You know,
Mr. Leggett.
if things are this toxic out on social media, we've got to continue to put our story out on what we're doing, the recruitment, the retention, to help clear up any false things going around. You know, county EMS, they're doing a lot to make it work. They are making it work, and they're doing good work. There's no question about that. And so we've got to continue to put the facts out.
Okay. I just, on behalf of myself, but I think on behalf of the whole board, thank you for your presentation. I think it was very well done. It was done in a very professional way. I would encourage those, particularly the elected officials in Nash County, to change the way they operate and use their seats to try to help Nash County improve themselves. This Board of Commissioners tries to make all of our towns be better, and we just ask for your help as well. Each mayor, each elected commissioner or councilman, whatever you're called in your particular area, join us, these 7 people up here, to solve our issues, and don't continue spending your time to see how bad you can make our staff look or this board look. It's toxic. It serves no purpose. And at the end of the day, I do think those that are doing that will realize, hopefully, that there's a better way of operating. We have great employees in Nash County. We need to keep these great employees. And I said in my first part of my sermon, and I apologize, but I'm very passionate about what I'm saying. To continue to get good employees, we need the help of every person in the county, every citizen, every elected official, to help us make Nash County shine. And believe me, folks, what's going on the last 8, 9 months to a year is not making anyone shine. But regardless of what has gone on here, I travel quite a bit in this state. I'm in quite a few organizations, and still Nash County is looked at as one of the better run counties in this state. And we will continue to be looked at that way because our staff is going to make sure that we look this way. What I would beg you, I'm not too proud to beg, as a very popular song says, to ask for your support in helping us accomplish what we need to accomplish. We're not the only ones that have EMS shortages. We're not the only one that has deputy shortages. I would ask you to check with our elected sheriff and get his update on where he's at hired employees. He gave me that update one day last week, and quite frankly, it was very encouraging. But check with him, continue to watch us, but when you see our ads, support what our staff is trying to do. That's what I like to say, and again, Madam Manager, thank you for a job well done.
Thank you.
Any commissioner need a break, or can I keep moving?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah?
I would like to have a break.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute pause, and we'll come back, and we'll be on item number 13, which is oddly enough, a mutual aid agreement for the state of North Carolina. And I'd just like to share one thing about mutual aid to add to what the manager said. Mutual aid is one of the most important things that we have in North Carolina and in this county. Our volunteer fire departments, you know, they don't even talk about mutual aid. They just do mutual aid. There has been a time where it didn't work that way, and one of my most fond memories in life is In about the 4th or 5th grade, I was attending Williford School, and Williford School was set fire by some very bad students over the weekend. And I distinctly remember that there was no mutual aid, and our county volunteer fire departments had to put that school fire out. And the city of Rocky Mount, which was across the street on Williford Street, could not, by law, help us put that fire out. I don't know if there's anyone else in the room old enough to remember this, but I remember the pictures very well, even as a student, of them sitting on their side of Williford Street and attempting to spray water to help us put the fire out because it wasn't legal for them to come across the street and help fight that fire. We've come a long way from that point. And this next item of mutual aid throughout the state is something, mutual aid is not a bad thing. You can read it, it's bad in social media all you want to, but it's the greatest thing that this county has in almost, if not every department that we have. And we stand recessed for 5 minutes. Thank you.
All right.
call us back to order at this time, and we were getting ready to begin on item 13. And I'll call on Trip Bunn to make this presentation, Emergency Services Statewide Mutual Aid. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. I stand before you this morning to request that the Commission reviews and, the Emergency Management Division is requesting that the 2023 statewide mutual aid agreement be reviewed and signed by the county. This agreement would be between the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, Division of Emergency Management, and Nash County Emergency Services. Entering into this agreement would allow Nash County to send and receive aid and assistance, including personnel, equipment, facilities, services, and supplies during incidents to include planned events, as well as emergencies or disasters of all kinds and sizes. It is understood that the safety and citizens of Nash County is the priority of Nash County Emergency Services, and that entering into this agreement does not obligate or require the county to send resources in the case of a disaster. And as the chairman stated earlier, we've been into this agreement for several years now. The biggest difference with this agreement, the new 2023 agreement, is that no state of emergency needs to be declared for counties to request mutual aid from other counties, and that it authorizes one representative for the county to be the contact in case someone needs to request mutual aid or we need to request mutual aid in a disaster. So the staff is requesting this morning that the commissioners approve the attached, which you all have a copy of, statewide mutual aid agreement, and authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of Nash County.
All right. Any questions of Mr. Bunn on this item? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval of the statewide mutual aid agreement and authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of Nash County.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we.
Go ahead, sir.
You're taking my motion?
I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to decide who's first and who's second. Go ahead.
I offer a motion that we approve the mutual aid agreement statewide.
You okay? All right, I have a motion from Mr. Belfield. I have a second from Commissioner Combs. Any question on this very important motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries. Trip, while you're here,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think you have appeared before us before. We've met you at our association meetings, but tell us in 20 words or less about yourself a little bit.
Yes, sir. I'm Trip Bunn. I live in Red Oak. I come to Nash County after serving the city of Rocky Mount for 21 years in the fire department. I have 5 children, ranging from 11 to 3 months. So I'm happy to be here. Like we talked about, Mr. Chairman spoke earlier about big shoes to fill. Obviously, I have some big shoes to fill coming in behind Brent, but I look forward to it and hope to fill those shoes or fill my shoes, as Mr. Arrington said.
Your shoes and boots, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being here. We know you're going to be working for a while. What was that youngest child's age?
3 months.
3 months? Okay. You'll be with us for a long time then.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But thank you for everything you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to item number 14, which is the fiscal year 2025 ambulance franchise agreement. And as we stated earlier, we do this each year. It has to be done at 2 different meetings, and will appear on our agenda again most likely in September, but I'll turn it over to Dale Griffin. And Dale, before you even start, I want to thank you, sir, for everything you're doing for Nash County.
Thank you, sir. And I got to say thank you to the board, to the manager's office, and everybody that has stood behind us. I appreciate your support.
Yes, sir.
Our staff appreciate your support. So I'm here, as you said, just to present the annual franchise agreement we have with 4 different agencies that provide the convalescent service for us within Nash County. The 4 that I've approved or looked at and am recommending are currently the ones that we use now within Nash County. There's no changes. We've received our applications. They look fine. And again, according to ordinance and a general statute, it has to come before the board twice. So if you guys so see it, I do not mean anything bad about it, you guys. No disrespect. If the board so sees it, it will be back on the September meeting. agenda.
All right. Anything changed about the agreement? They're pretty much like they were last year. I know we started out with two a number of years ago, then we added one, then we added another, probably when we pretty much stopped doing it, and we got it up to 4 now.
Yes, sir. It did start with 2 originally, and when we transitioned out of the convalescent business, we upped it to 3, and then we saw the need for one additional one, so it's over 4 now. No change in the agreement. It's the same agreement as it was last year, and it has to come before you guys annually.
And if I remember correctly, don't some of them have different skill levels than others? Are we still in that same boat, or have they equalized themselves out?
We're still, there's 3 of the agencies or private companies that can do either advanced EMT or medic level transports. One of them are still a basic level service.
Okay, all right. Any other questions on this item? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the franchise agreement for calendar year 2025.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there a second to her motion? Second by Commissioner Arrington. Any questions on the motion? You didn't. Who said it?
Outlaw.
I'm sorry.
Outlaw.
Commissioner Outlaw.
All right.
Let me go back. I got a motion by Commissioner Wilkins, second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries, sir. We look forward to seeing you in September.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
And anything this board can do moving along, please let the manager know, and she'll keep us informed.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is our monthly tax report. And, if I'm not mistaken, this may be the final month that this great distinguished lady appears before us. If I got that right, I do believe.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much before you start for what you've done for Nash County as well. And we already know you have filled your shoes. We appreciate that. Boots, excuse me, sir. Understood. But go ahead with your monthly tax report, and seriously, thank you for everything you've done for us. I hope we hadn't been too bad to work for. Your job is a job that's probably one of the most difficult jobs we have got here, and you get so little thanks for what you do, because what you do is not popular, but believe me, this board thanks you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate the board for your appointment and giving me the opportunity to serve as the tax administrator. It's been great to work with the citizens, and we try to do our very best to serve them every day in the tax department.
Well, you have done that.
Thank you. All right, the monthly tax report, in keeping with General Statute 105-350, Section 7, the tax collector will be providing a monthly report showing the amount of taxes collected and efforts being made to collect those taxes. This report is designed to keep the board current on activities in the tax collector's office. The report is for your information only and does not require approval. However, it is recommended that you accept the report so that it will be noted in the minutes. And I'll be glad to answer any questions, although I will address a lot of the report in the annual settlement that's coming up later.
Any questions on the tax report itself from Ms. Sumner? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. We will take this report and put it in the record for any future need we may have with it. The next item is tax refund, and
yes,
it
sir.
says none, but I'll let you say that in
Yes,
case
sir.
something changed.
There are no refunds for consideration this month.
All right. Well, if that's the case, at this time, I would recess the Board of Commissioners of Nash County, and I will actually call the board to order for the equalization and review. And Mr. Attorney, do I need a motion to start that board? Call it to order? Okay. I'm fine where I'm at, okay. I've recessed county commissioners. I've called the Board of Equalization and Review to back to order at this time, and I will turn it over to you, Ms. Sumner, for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. In compliance with North Carolina General Statute 105-322, the Nash County Board of Equalization and Review will meet to hear upon request any and all taxpayers who own or control taxable property assessed for taxation in Nash County with respect to the valuation of such property. And for the Board of ENR's consideration this morning, we have one consent decision letter that we need approval on. The administrator, the staff, and Pioneer Associates have continued to process appeals filed prior to the adjournment of the Board of Equalization and Review. During this time, if a taxpayer agrees to the administrator's proposed change in value, they can sign a consent decision subject to the approval of the Board of Equalization and Review. And I think on that second page, you will see that letter. This is for 81 Rocky One Hotels LLC. The property is located at 651 North Winstead Avenue in Rocky Mount. And the description was 109.39 with 5.4 acres, Pentagon Properties. And the assessed value under appeal was $17,125,390, and that was for real estate. And it appearing to the board that the county assessor and taxpayer have engaged in discussions prior to this hearing and after the exchange of information and on negotiations have reached consensus that the adjusted assessed valuation of the property should be $15,182,920. It further appearing to the board that the county assessor and taxpayer both request that the board adopt the adjusted assessed valuation agreed to by consensus. And it is further appearing that if the requested valuation is adopted by the board, the taxpayer will waive the right to further appeals for the remainder of the current revaluation period, unless the county assessor adjusts the valuation pursuant to General Statute 105-287. And that statute deals with historic properties. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Any questions of Ms. Sumner on this item? I don't recall us doing this before, have we? And I don't remember it, or?
I don't think we've done these in the past,
Okay.
but the appellant asked for a formal letter from the Board of ENR on the value.
Okay.
So that's why we're bringing that today.
Well, if I understand it, the staff and the appellant has worked together.
Yes.
They've come to something they agree to, and you use the word consent. Consent to me means we don't take an official vote, but I'm going to ask the attorney to tell me if we take a motion to vote on this item, or how do we handle it, Mr. Gaynor? I'm sorry I didn't ask you this earlier to allow you.
I think that you
Need a motion, yes.
Okay. I think it would be the safe way to do it.
Yes.
I mean, I think you need to vote on it.
Okay.
Because what they're asking for is a formal decision from the board.
Yes.
Okay, all right, good enough. Any questions on it? It is something we aren't used to doing, but short and long of, they have come to an agreement and asked us to entertain a motion and approve a motion agreeing to the agreement that they have come to. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to agree to the consent amount that the applicant and the staff has worked out.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the provided consent amount of $15,812,920.
All right, have a motion on the floor to approve what Ms. Sumner has brought to us. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So now that's all that we have for the Board of ENR this morning.
Okay. So I understand you may have another item or two you're working on, and you want us to recess until September the 9th meeting?
Yes,
Or is that called if we need to?
probably if we need to.
Why don't I just set it, and then if we don't need to, we won't put it on there?
Okay.
That would be the safe way to do it. Okay, right.
Yes.
That's what I think I should do. All right, at this time then, I'd entertain a motion to recess the equalization and review board for Nash County until our next scheduled first meeting of the month, which is September the 9th at 9 a.m.
So moved.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Leggett, second by Commissioner Wilkins. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries, and we stand in recess until September the 9th at 9 a.m. And at this time, I would call the Nash County Board of Commissioners meeting out of recess back into order, and we'll take the annual settlement from Doris Sumner. You got a lot going on here your last day at the
Yes,
podium,
sir.
but
Got a few
proceed with the annual settlement.
Okay. As described in North Carolina General Statute 105-377, the tax collector will submit to the governing body an annual settlement of monies received during the prior fiscal year. So I'm pleased to report that we had another good year in property tax collections as we ended the fiscal year with a 99.08% collection rate. This was just slightly behind last year's rate of 99.23, but we were very happy and pleased to achieve that. It was it was tough, but we got it. I would just like to go over a couple of pages for the report, and I'll start with page 1 there for 2023 with the Nash County only, and this is for the current year. Our total levy was $61,231,558.83. This was the tax base continued to grow at a healthy rate, and consequently, our levy to collect was about 5.36% more than the previous year. On our total collections, we were at $60,668,044.37. We were able to collect just over $3.1 million more in taxes this year. And our year-to-date receivables, which is our ending balance, is $563,514.46, which you see at the bottom, we have that rate of 99.08. And on our second page for the Nash County only, all years, if you look at our beginning receivables, we had $1,947,154.67. And our beginning receivable continues to decrease due to increased prior year taxes and the drop-off of the old motor vehicle bills for each year. So our total levy for all years was $63,175,129.95. Our collections were $61,058,876.29, and we had an ending receivable of $2,116,253.66. And if you see, we were also able to collect $240,762.58 in interest. We go to page 3. On prior years for Nash County only, our total levy was $1,943,571.12. Our collections, $390,831.92. And our year-to-date receivable, $1,552,739.20. The outstanding receivable amounts continue to decrease each year due to the fact that we are able to collect more in our prior years. And this is one of the most difficult parts of the levy to collect are those prior year taxes. So. And on page 4, this deals with Nash County real estate. Our total levy was $46,867,428.10. And this class of property in the levy represented about 76.54% of the levy. Our total collections was $46,452,054.82. And on our real estate only, our outstanding receivables was $415,373.28. And on real estate only, we had a collection rate of just 99.11%. On the next page, for the personal property, our total levy was $5,631,134.46, and this class of property represented about 9.20% of the levy. Our total collections were $5,482,993.48, and our year-to-date receivables, $148,141.18. So on our motor vehicles, our ending collection on those was $8,732,996.07. And that class of property represented about 14.26% of the total levy. It was also an increase over the prior year of $419,578.61. So page 7, as we go to the countywide, and this is for the current year. Countywide includes not only the county, but the 18 fire districts and 6 towns that we collect for. Our total levy, $60,424,934.30. Our collections was $59,718,221.13, and our year-to-date receivables, $706,713.17. And the next couple of pages deal with our all years for countywide, which our total levy was $62,966,614.34, with collections coming in at $60,222,558.79, and our ending receivable, $2,744,055.55. As you can see, the outstanding receivables continue to decrease each year. And then on our countywide prior years, our levy was $2,541,680.04. Our collections was $504,337.66, with a receivable $2,037,342.38. And then the next few pages deals with Nash County and dogs. For the current year, all years and prior years, the current year was $61,244,720.83. Collections, $60,680,973.59. And the receivables at $563,747.24. And then I'll just skip over. I think that's about it. I would just like to make a few comments. I would like to thank the tax office staff for all of their dedication and hard work this past year. It's been a challenging year to get our regular work done, as well as complete a countywide revaluation. And they've worked together and worked very hard, and I'm thankful for that. I also want to thank our county attorney's office, Mr. Durham, for all of their guidance throughout the year, as well as our county manager and the administrative team, Ms. Janice and Angela. I would also like to thank the board for their support throughout the year. I'm fortunate that I feel that if I need anything from the board, I can come to you, and you all have been very supportive, and I appreciate that. And lastly, but certainly not least, is I'd like to thank our county taxpayers. This report would not have been as good as it is without their assistance. And just appreciate them paying their taxes in a timely manner. Therefore, I ask the board, step 1 is to approve the tax collector's report for tax year 2013 through 2023, which is July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, and to recharge the tax collector with the outstanding taxes and responsibilities for collection for the years 2014 through 2024. And that ends my report. Any questions?
Do you mind reading the last statement you said one more time?
Yes, sir. Recharge the tax collector with the outstanding taxes and responsibility for collections for the years of 2014 through 2024.
Any questions of Ms. Sumner?
I don't have any question, but just a comment. We're going to miss you. I think you've done a remarkable job in that position, and we'll miss you. But I wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to call for a motion, and then we can make further comments if we so wish to, while I can say the motion. My easiest route may just be to entertain a motion that does basically what our tax assessor said we needed to do, which was recharge the tax assessor.
Approve the tax collector's report for tax year 2020,
Right.
2013 through 2023, and recharge the tax collector with the outstanding taxes and responsibility for collections for the years of 2014 through 2024.
I'd like a motion that covers exactly what this lady.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the tax collector's report for tax years 2013 to 2023, July 1st, 2023 to June 30, 2024, and recharge the tax collector with the outstanding taxes and responsibility for collection for the years 2014 to 2024.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign. Motion does carry.
Thank you.
I know we prolonged your retirement a little bit longer than you wanted to, and I greatly appreciate you agreeing to get us to this point.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, it seems like we might have prolonged it twice, I'm not sure.
I think we did, maybe 3.
But I do thank you for agreeing to do that. It would have been a difficult task for, maybe not with the staff you've got, but I would think it would be somewhat difficult to walk in the middle of, or at the beginning of a revow year and make it work. But the county would be indebted to you for agreeing to serve the length of time you have. You say these numbers, these large numbers, as fluid as anyone I know, without stumbling. Do you think you'll use those numbers moving forward with millions of dollars in your outside of Nash County's life? Or?
I don't know.
But seriously, we thank you for everything you have done. And you brought up a very good point. The biggest thanks of all really needed to go to the taxpayers of Nash County. As you very well said, they are the ones that made you look and your staff look very good.
Absolutely.
They are indeed. I don't know how you collect. I looked at the percentage of the first pay that you own and collect that amount of money based on the number of it is and have that small, less than 1% left. Somebody's doing something right, and you never hear any complaints, so I don't think you all hold a gun to anybody's head or anything. You must do it in a way that makes them feel good about paying it. I'm not really sure, or feel better about paying it, I guess I'd say.
Well,
But certainly thank you.
we take those payments with a smile and tell them thank you very much. And the ones that may have a little issue in paying, we try to work with them.
Right. Well, it shows up that you definitely do that. Yeah. Other comments from board members?
I just would make a brief comment. We're going to miss you.
Thank you.
I personally, and I believe I would speak for this board when I would say that we all realize you're intelligent, you're highly competent.
Thank you.
You're just a wonderful person to deal with. I just wish everyone could take a page out of your playbook on how to cooperate and get along, because you are a very civil person, and you do a wonderful job. And I know Miss Cascone, if she's wearing boots, she's got to fill those boots, but she's got a big role to fill behind you. And I just personally think the world of you, and I'm going to miss you a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, I'm going to miss you too, because you were there. I picked up the phone a number of times to call and ask for some advice and some suggestions. So I ditto what Commissioner Outlaw said. You were always easy to work with. I'm looking forward to working with Ms. Cascone.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also happy that Eddie is still here too. And so, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Commissioner Leggett?
Ms. Owner, I just want to say thank you for your service to Nash County. You've always been so helpful and so kind and gracious and done a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I do, appreciate you, Doris, and I just recently asked her to do something, and she did it with a smile and a timely manner, and she's always so pleasant, and you've been a pleasure to deal with, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right. Commissioner Arrington?
Yeah, a trailblazer and big boots. We know that being successful requires a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. And I'm sure when you started this job, there were some naysayers that didn't believe you could do the job, but you proved them otherwise as a woman and as a black woman. I congratulate you as a great tax collector. Enjoy your retirement, and don't spend too much money in the mall.
Okay. I can take my boots off now.
All right.
Hey, if you want to see Doris moving forward, I'd suggest you go to Honey Baked Ham about 12:15 on Fridays, and you will see her there.
On Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I still wouldn't get the day right, but
Tuesday and Friday, sorry, yeah.
Tuesdays and Fridays. That was, I thought it was on Fridays.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure about that, but run into it many times there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
That was item number 18, and we're now on item number 19, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA of 2021. And it is a project ordinance amendment, and unfortunately, I'll call on another person that may be her last meeting.
This is my last meeting, it is.
I'm afraid you were going to say that as well. We had all the good stuff at the beginning of the meeting. We're taking all the consequences from the good stuff at the backside of the meeting. I guess the agenda was fashioned that way, but we'll talk about your last meeting when you get through with your reports today.
Well, I just want to say that I think with the next finance director that y'all met this morning, I think the county will be in good hands, and the finance staff here, they're absolutely fabulous. So I have no doubt about, leaving Nash County. Let me breathe.
We're on item number 19.
Okay. This amendment, or the amended ordinance, is presented to budget $1,050,000 of interest earnings to be transferred to the general fund to be used toward budgeted county capital, and transfer $50,000 interest earnings to the water and sewer fund to be used towards a bypass pump. In addition, the amendment includes a transfer of $369,395 of revenue replacement funds for general services. These funds are budgeted for administrative costs to support the ARPA activities through the end of December 2026.
All right, I will say that the committee, ARPA committee, met last week, and this does come to us from a recommendation from that committee for what that is worth. But are there any questions of the finance director at this time on either of these items here and this grant project ordinance amendment. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the budget amendment as presented.
Okay, Commissioner Arrington serves on that committee, so I'll take that motion. Mr. Belfield, second the motion. Any questions on the motion as presented? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Y'all keep in mind not to do these things too fast because she's not coming back again. Item number 20 is a housing 2024 urgent repair program.
Okay. So Nash County was awarded $132,000 in the 2024 cycle of urgent repair program funds by the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. The project also includes a local match of $5,000. The URP 24 provides deferred loans to low-income homeowners for crucial repairs that enable the resident to remain in the home. The program does not require that the entire dwelling be brought up to the usual rehabilitation standards, but can be helpful in stabilizing deterioration. In some cases, no additional assistance is sought after once the urgent repair needs are met. And I also wanted to add that the application intake will be September 16th through the 20th for this program.
All right, questions on this item? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Have a motion to approve the budget ordinance. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well. We'll move on to item number 21, which is budget amendments.
Okay.
Ms. Wood.
I have 12 budget amendments to present to the board for consideration for the 24-25 fiscal year. The first item is with the Sheriff's Office. It's a reappropriation of unspent fiscal year 24 local program donations for the Sheriff's Office. It's a reappropriation of $7,579. The next item is also with the Sheriff's Office. This budget amendment appropriates Nash County's remaining available portion of a joint grant application with the City of Rocky Mount for the 2023 Justice Assistance Grant. It's $511. The next item is Parks and Recreation. It's to reappropriate the 2024 sponsorship funds collected for fall sports. It's $6,763. Amendment number 4 is for aging services. This is to reappropriate unspent fiscal year 24 aging services outside funding, including senior center program receipts, senior center donations, Project Lifesaver donations, home delivered meal cost share, senior center operation cost share, the Health Insurance Information Program funding, and Medicare Improvement Patient and Provider Act funding. It's a reappropriation of $73,692. The next item is with the Department of Social Services. It's to reappropriate unspent fiscal year 24 special children adoption funds received from outside sources, and to appropriate new special child adoption fund revenue received for the current fiscal year is a total of $45,135. Amendment number 6 is for grants and intergovernmental. This budget amendment is to budget general fund balance appropriation to transfer to the Urgent Repair Program 2024 for a $5,000 county match. Amendment number 7 for the Health Department. This budget amendment is to budget grant funding from the ARPA Temporary Savings Fund to support activities authorized under the General Aid to Counties Agreement Addendum, including training, education, supplies, and contracted services. These funds will be used to meet the service requirements of the 10 essential public health services and to ensure these services are available and accessible to Nash County's population. It's an amendment of $100,000. The next item is also with the Health Department. This budget amendment is to budget funding from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services HHS Bridge Access Program for COVID-19 vaccines and treatments. These funds will be used to help maintain access to COVID-19 vaccines for uninsured and underinsured adults. It's $84,654. Budget Amendment Number 9 is with the Health Department. This budget amendment is to budget funding provided through the American Rescue Plan Act and will be used to expand communicable disease surveillance, detection, control, and prevention activities to address COVID-19 and other communicable disease-related challenges impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This funding will be used in part to purchase COVID-19 vaccine and related supplies, promoting the availability of COVID-19 vaccinations, and developing and disseminating educational resources about COVID-19. It's for $301,826. Item number 10 is a donation for emergency medical services. It's a $25 donation. I want to make sure that they can spend those funds. The next item is with emergency management. This budget amendment is to budget fiscal year 2024 Tier 2 grant funds, which are available for use until January 31st, 2025. This grant is from the North Carolina Division of Emergency Management and used to support hazardous material preparedness activities of our local emergency planning committee and will be used for hazardous material emergency response planning, training, and related exercises. It's $3,050. And the final budget amendment is for the Rural Operating Assistance Program Fund. This budget amendment is presented to adjust the fiscal year 25 budget to reflect available funding from unspent 24 funds from the Rural Operating Assistance Program. It increases the budget $47,402 from fund balance appropriation and Fund 51 for the Rural Operating Assistance Program.
All right, questions of Ms. Wood on either of these 12 items? Ms. Wood, item 7 and item 9, which are ARP funds, apparently those are funds that go directly to the health department. I don't remember seeing any of those, either one of those in our committee meetings.
Right. They are directed directly to the health department. You can see with their AA number based on their grant.
Right.
How they're addressed.
So that committee would not have seen those. It's not money, part of that $1 million of interest money. It's something separate that just didn't flow through that committee.
Right. It's a separate grant funding that were part of the ARPA funding from the federal government.
Okay, thank you.
Through the state.
Okay, understood. Any other questions on these?
Yeah, budget amendment 4, the agent's services. Does that come to Nash County through the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government?
Now, these are all donations from other outside sources.
I see some of it is outside.
Yes, sir.
But I was just wondering where it says senior Project Lifesaver donations, home delivery, meals cost share, and caregiving cost share.
These are all directly provided from other sources other than HCCPG.
Okay.
No other questions? I'd entertain a motion for approval of the 12 budget amendments.
Make a motion to approve the 12 budget amendments.
A motion by Commissioner Combs, there's a second to the motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be none, will say an aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well. You would hold up one more moment, or any parting words you'd like to say to this board? I don't need any, but.
No, I just want to thank you for all your support, the Board of Commissioners, the County Manager's Office, and, I've really enjoyed working here. But other than that, just thank you for everything.
Good. Commissioners like to say anything to Ms. Wood?
Well, I'll say the same thing I said to Sumner. You're going to be missed, and we tried to keep both of you on, but you made your final decision, and we know those days will come. So I wish you well in your retirement. And you've done a remarkable job as finance director.
Well, thank you. And I definitely think, I can't say enough about the staff, the finance team, and how wonderful they are. They're behind the scenes and nobody really gets to see them, but I couldn't have done my job without them.
Understood. Other comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Leggett?
Yes. So you mentioned you enjoyed working here. Well, we enjoyed you working here as well, and I'd like to thank you for a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, please don't go. We know you're young enough for your shoes that you got a lot of walking to still do, so enjoy your travel.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Travels to Raleigh.
And thank you for your financial advice, Donna.
Well, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for you guys making it so easy for me to work here in Nash County.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Outlaw.
I'm just, Don, I'm thankful that I got an opportunity to meet you, to know you. With Ms. Hobbs, prior to you, she did an excellent job, and you have done an excellent job as well, and you know how much you're going to be missed. You're almost a clone of Ms. Sumner. You two are just so much alike. You just are very kind, compassionate, intelligent, competent people, and you just do a wonderful job. And I know Ms. Hogan is following you, and I know she'll do a good job as well, particularly if you recommended her. So I'll miss you here, but I hope to see you outside of here in other venues, and good luck and God bless you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Donna. You've been great. You know, you just go overboard not to just do your job, but do what you can to help. And I just appreciate you so much because I've called you so many times, and it was always a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Everybody spoke? I think so. I'll be very brief. If you look in the North Carolina statute, you will see just about every time it mentions finance, that the buck stops with finance and with this Board of Commissioners. That was something that bothered me at first, quite frankly, to know that it was really ended up here at these 7 people. But as I got to know Ms. Hobbs, and she actually, I think, had something to do with you coming here as well. And to learn how you operated, it really never entered my mind at all moving forward. I knew it was always done right. And I do think that that's another department that Nash County is known statewide for always been properly done, always been done correctly. And it's just something that we never received any kind of negative press about errors that were made in our finance department. And that's not an easy task to maintain in your number of years that you work for us. I hate to see every employee leave, but when Stacy corralled me that morning to let me know that she needed me to talk to you, which was probably the wasted 15, 20 minutes of my time. I think the decision was made well ahead of time, but as I said earlier, I'm certainly not too proud to beg, and certainly did beg that morning, but you're doing the right thing for yourself. You know, when you're in a job as tense as that, I do understand that you do have some amount of burnout, but you had an excellent staff behind you, as you said, and each one of them seemed to do their job and without any instructions whatsoever, and still do that. So you're very fortunate in that respect. It's not always the case in county or municipal government that you had the finance staff that you had here. And it's certainly not the case that you have the caliber of folks at the top that we have had during my tenure here in Nash County, which is a long tenure. But thank you for the slot that you filled. Best wishes to you moving forward. I think you told me you were going to continue to stay in Nashville, so you won't be far away. And in your state job, any way you can help us would be greatly appreciated. And just personally get to know you has been a treat as well. As Mr. Outlaw said, you two ladies that are left in the room are just genuine great people. And I very much will value getting to know people like yourself that have worked for Nash County. And thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you again for all your support.
So you're really going to leave, huh?
This is my last meeting
Thank you, ma'am.
as finance director. Thank you.
Okay, that was budget amendments. We are now on item number 22, and I will call on our assistant county manager to do board appointments. Good morning, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sorry about that.
We have just a few board appointments, and we will start with the Braswell Memorial Public Library Board of Trustees. So the Board of Commissioners is asked to identify a replacement for Dr. LaShonda Washington, who ended her service on the Braswell Memorial Public Library Board of Trustees effective June 1st, 2024.
And you want me to take it at this point?
Well,
Are you?
just wanted to be known that we're looking for, we're asking the board to help identify a replacement.
Okay, all right. So as you said, Dr. Washington did resign from the board. She is chairman of our school board, as you know, and I'm not sure exactly why she chose to resign, but she indeed did, and we need to replace her. We don't necessarily do that by districts because we only have 5 appointments. Is that correct?
They're correct.
And so we generally like to represent the county throughout. As you know, Dr. Washington does live in Rocky Mount. You had mentioned to me something about this appointment possibly coming from a given area. Do you have any direction for the board in looking at this person? I know it needs to be a person that has a keen interest in the library board. As we've learned recently, it is a very important appointment. And what I'd like to do is just, if you have, since our manager serves on that board, if you have a thought in mind, get the name to her and let her help us do a little research to make sure we find that correct person to serve on this board. Is that the way you want to do it, I hope?
Yes, and you'll hear that there's a second one. So what I'd like to do is send an email out to the board and let you all know where our representation is with the other 3 members that we do have on the board.
Right.
So you'll know where that representation is, and then I'll also remind you where our community libraries are located.
Sure.
So I think between where we have existing representation and where we have those community libraries, we might want to focus on those areas for where we would.
So we're going to have some further instructions on this appointment then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Understood. Any questions on that? Seeing none, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. And the second point, also with the Braswell Memorial Library, the Board of Commissioners is asked to identify a replacement for Mr. James Lyons. Per their bylaws, any trustee who is absent for 3 consecutive regularly scheduled board meetings or has failed to attend 3 or more meetings in a 12-month period shall be deemed to have resigned. And per the board chair, Mr. Lyons has not attended a meeting in the last year and is requesting a replacement.
All right, so we got 2 then.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, and thank you for that email.
Yes.
Next is the Nash County Board of Adjustment. Please consider the new appointment of Mr. Sean Lucas to serve on the Nash County Board of Adjustment as alternate member number 2. Mr. Lucas resides in Bailey and represents Commissioner District number 3. Sean Lucas's term will be through April 30th, 2027, if appointed. And his application should have been in your packet.
So if we got 2 of them on the same board, we'll do those together.
Absolutely. Please consider the new appointment of Mr. David Ashman to serve on the Nash County Board of Adjustment as alternate member number 3. Mr. Ashman resides in Brattleboro and represents Commissioner District number 7. If appointed, David Ashman's term would be through April 30th, 2027. And so Mr. Ashman's application is also in your packet, so I'm bringing these 2 appointments to your attention for a vote, for approval or denial.
Okay. And David actually lives in Red Oak. He does have a Brattleboro route number, which many of us in Red Oak do. But he is a resident of Red Oak, and as you said, of District 7, which needed representative from. Any questions on these 2? If not, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion, we appoint these 2 to the Board of Adjustment.
Have a motion by Commissioner Combs. There's a second to that motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett, questions on the motion?
And this, we're voting on Sean Lucas for the Board of Adjustment?
We voted on both of them, Mr. Belfield, Sean Lucas, as well as David Ashman.
Yeah, Sean is already on there, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So we can put both of them on?
Yes, sir. I just did it in one motion since it was the same board.
Okay.
I have the motion to have a second. Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question of Ms. Fula. What area, do you know what area Mr. Lyons is from on the, that was on the library board, James Lyons? Was he from the city area also?
I believe he's in the Whitaker area.
He's in Whitaker. That's correct.
Okay. I just would ask that all the board members consider, filling it with the Rocky Mount. And I know we need to look at all the logistics to see that Nash County is represented, but I want to make sure the city of Rocky Mount is represented on there as well.
Thank you. And you have a representative, you know.
I do.
Okay. In fact, she was with us earlier. I see she left sometime.
Well, she was, but since this one was also from the city of Rocky Mount, and
Which one was also?
LaShonda.
You're correct. I understood. All right. Any other questions on that item? I'm just going, with your permission, mention the hospital board at the meeting we had recently. The manager and I had with the team there. You remember how this hospital appointment works in that they give the Board of Commissioners names to consider, and then we consider those. We can approve them, or we can ask them to submit additional names, which we do from time to time. We have always asked that, or not always, but certainly of late times, we have asked that we work together in doing these. And we had a very nice meeting that they called and presented to us what they were looking like moving forward. And what it boils down to is they have two board members that are coming vacant pretty soon, between now and the end of the year. And they have asked us to work with them on finding those positions rather than we not working together, which is great, I think. And they pointed out to us that in District 2 and District 3 had the least amount of representation. District 1 has 2 members. District 4 has 2 members. District 5 has 2 members. District 6 has 3 members. And District 7 has 3 members. So we have District 2 with no representation, and we have District 3 with 1 representation. So if we could concentrate on Districts 2 and 3, if you have anybody that has an interest on that board, if you would let the manager know, it's not to say that we're going to submit it and they're going to submit it back to us, but at least they have asked for our participation moving forward. And so I'd certainly like to oblige them by doing that. And I think we would probably need to get back up with them or have it so the manager could do it by our meeting in September. Won't be any action taken there. Ms. Wilkins, I know you are shortly going on the board, have been considered to go on the board, and actually have a meeting this week, I think, with them.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's great. That will be our second commissioner on there. And it is a currently 15-member board.
District 3 did have 2 to just a few weeks ago.
That is correct.
Because
And
of the
Joel
resignation.
had to resign. That's why he's only got 1 now. District 3 has. Have I properly covered that? Can you add more to it?
No,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, all right. And I would probably like to have you send this sheet they provided us to the rest of the board if we have it,
I'll be glad to.
so they'll see. It's broken down many ways, current board members, what district they actually live in, their nationality, and everything you need to know about those board members, which keeps a very balanced board. If those 2 commissioners would work on finding someone to serve from those 2 districts, that would be great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry to prolong it.
No problem, thank you.
Item number 23 is commissioner comments, and I'd certainly open it up to the floor if any commissioner has something they'd like to have come from themselves or their district. Commissioner Wilkins.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to give a brief report to the board about the National Association of Counties annual conference that was in Tampa, Florida. And I attended quite a few workshops. One was governing effectively, how to reach out to other counties who may have done a project we are contemplating doing, and learned about promoting equity across all sectors by going out into the community and using social media, and personally going to rural communities or ones with little internet to inform citizens of events, jobs, activities, and community engagement and broadband. And there was much discussion on disaster preparedness, infrastructure, and making counties appeal to potential residents and workers, and concern and discussions on county responses to behavioral health, child care crisis, and how to engage youth in county government. It was a full day, and we had the opioid talk. We talked about the opioid and recovery housing, and a lot of people wanted recovery housing, medications for opioid use disorder, treatment for incarcerated individuals addicted to opioids, syringe services program, family support programs for those trying to cope and help loved ones. And it was a full day. I mean, things started from 8, didn't end to about 6 or 7 o'clock. So the county got its worth out of me.
Thank you for the report. Great job. Other commissioners? Mr. Belfield?
Well, I was just going to follow up on attending the national meeting. One thing that did happen in North Carolina will eventually have the president of the National Association, Dunlap from Mecklenburg County, was elected vice president, almost a landslide. He had 2 opponents, but Dunlap had been heavily involved in the National Association, and so and he was overwhelmingly supported. So he will become president. I believe it's what he's second vice. He go to first vice president-elect, and then president. So that will be the first one we've had since Betty Lou Ward in 1999. We've had some that run since then, they lost. But he was successful in winning this time. He deserved it because he served on the national board, and he was as delegate from representative from North Carolina, and he did a lot of things on the national level that propelled him into the position he's in now. I didn't get to as many workshops as I really wanted to, but I spent a lot of time, I was the voting delegate, I spent a lot of time talking with other agents, trying to gain ideas that I could bring back to Nash County. So I think that was a plus. And I've done this every year that I've been there, but I did attend workshops also. But I made all the business sessions where we voted on issues that put before the board, that some of it will be pushed through Congress, hopefully, that get Congress to see the way the National Association of County Commissioners. And then I want to say one final thing. That National Association, they don't bicker between the 2 parties. They look at every way they can work together. And I've said this before, that I wish the Congress could see how Democrats and Republicans through our National Association work together for the bed. Yeah, they have different ideas, but they come together through the committees and solve any issue they have, and then what is suggested out of the committees, the whole association go along and support it. They ask questions, but they, in the final analysis, they support the National Association of County Commissioners. And it's been, to me, what I'm seeing, because we are getting some things through Congress, even though they bicker up there, as a result of it, because they see us working together. They don't want to just ignore us. And we are heard by the Congress, and I think that's good.
Thank you, Mr. Bellfield. Point's well taken. Other commissioners with comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Lee.
one into the other. All right, there's a couple different things I just wanted to touch on. First, as commissioners, one of our statutory requirements is that we set the county budget. And in this year's budget, it was approved to increase pay for public safety and for EMS. And that pay was recommended as a result of the pay study that was done. We approved the budget. It is up to the county management and staff to see that the budget allocations are implemented and to communicate back to us if the pay approved is sufficient and working to fill the current staffing gaps. I understand that hires from new programs such as EMT and BLET take time, but we also need experienced professionals to work in our departments. I would like for our county management and staff to keep this board informed on the hiring and retention in our public safety and emergency services departments. I had voted no on this year's budget because I felt that these department salaries were significantly behind and we were just trying to catch up only. While there were many good things put in this year's budget, however, at some point, if we're going to get ahead and be a leader, as we have in the past, we've got to significantly differentiate ourselves as a county with pay, benefits, recruitment, and retention efforts. So I just kindly ask that of management to please keep us informed and abreast of the hiring efforts that are being done for new staff, as well as to fill the recently vacated emergency services position. With the new budget, as a commissioner, I want to make sure that we're hitting the mark that our citizens expect and to look for the need to make any adjustments if needed. Also, there was a point made earlier about us commissioners in our role that we don't do the hiring and firing. I would concur with Commissioner Cone on this. The last thing before I wrap up, I'd like to give some recognition to our Assistant County Manager, Ms. Fula, in her work for the recent opioid community meetings. I attended the meeting that was held in Nashville, and the group was very engaged, and I thought they went very, very smoothly, so I'd like to commend her on that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Outlaw.
Yeah, I just make a brief comment. I'm a little hesitant to make the comment, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's who I am. I just want to ask the manager a question, looking dead in your eyes. What input have you personally received in a private setting related to the EMS situation from anyone outside of county government? Has anyone come to you and said, this is a recommendation I have, this is something I think you should consider? Has anyone done that?
We did have one citizen come and meet with us and share his concerns.
Okay, did you address those concerns?
It's
I assume
ongoing.
they were valid concerns.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my point. My point is, and maybe I'm a little bit to Ms. Leggett's point, our role as county commissioners is not operational. And I'm not ashamed to say that. It's not my job to operate the county. It's my job to support a county manager in hiring the most qualified people to run the county. And I think you're doing a very good job in that regard. But I just sit up here, we spend so much time, and I think we should continue doing it, responding to misinformation because people don't have the facts, and they don't obviously really care to get the facts because they don't come to you and say, hey, can I meet with you in a private setting to get the answer to this or that? I think a year or so back, it was shift change. And we spent lots of money, if you recall, Chairman, on shift change, $24.72.
$2.4 million.
And this year, we have allocated, in addition to COLA, we've allocated over $3 million to public safety. So you said you had 7 that you were hiring now, and you just made offers to. So I think you're making good progress, but for every time we get together, and even when we're not together in social media, for people to just constantly blast this manager and this board for what we are not doing, and obviously they don't know what we're doing, and they're not offering any input on how to fix the problem. So I would challenge all of you people, contact me if it's something in my district that you think I should address, that needs to be addressed. Contact the manager if it's something in the county. Go meet with the manager. I believe she will respond to you. And I would ask that you would let us know if you don't have to give us names, but just let us know if anyone comes to you and offers any constructive solutions to these problems. Or are these people just looking a bandstand? I don't know. But you cannot just continually throw problems, and no solutions. It's just not the way it should be done. It doesn't need to continue being done that way. So I reach out to my district, District 5, and I say it publicly. If you've got questions about EMS, fire, anything that you don't have answers to, if you will contact me directly, I will get you an answer if I don't have that answer. And if you've got anything county-related that you want a question to or you want to offer a solution to, then talk to this manager. I believe we have made a good faith effort on this board to provide salaries and a working structure that meets the needs of our EMS department. I'm very proud of what we've done, and I'll continue to do that for the duration of my term on this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Outlaw. Other comments from board members?
I'll just
Mr. Belfield.
follow up on it. I've had one person to talk with me, a constituent, about EMS and funding, one, but had no suggestion.
Okay. Others? Comments? I will say, and I'm going to be very brief, say that I don't keep the number, well, I do keep a number because I make notes, but I would say 12, 15 calls by EMS. I do find that when I get the call, they're primarily driven by something on social media or comments they receive. When I take the time, which I always do, to present the facts, they are very appreciative of what the facts really are. So as Commissioner Outlaw said, each commissioner is always available for you to call. Our phone numbers are posted on the county's web page. I'll take calls almost 24 hours a day. I'll say 20 hours a day. And I respond to each one of them, but do get your facts. And I'm going to leave it at that because I've said enough this morning about it already. I did have one social media comment that I saw that all the chairman knew how to do was give the monthly housing report, and he couldn't do anything else. So I'm going to give you the monthly housing report anyway, because I do have quite a few citizens that say they appreciate getting that. So for the month of July, we did have 61 new home permits that were pulled in Nash County, still a pretty high number. 57 of them were stick-built homes. 4 of them were some type of a modular home. Then they were about 26 different builders. So it's still a very diverse group that's building in Nash County. It's not 1 or 2 firms. In commercial construction, we had $2.4 million of value of permits pulled. And the only other thing I'm going to say this morning, I'm going to not get into it too much, is I just ask for anyone that is running for any political office to stay away from negative ads about your opponent. I received a very disturbing one this week, and I'm not here to point out names. I will say it's a person that I think does a lot in the county that it was directed to. I've been, as you all know, subject to those ads. But if elected officials would just run on what they have done or what they intend to do, if they're new elected officials running for an office for the first time, let all of us citizens know what you intend to do or what you have done. And let the opponent that you have do the same thing. It's no need of badgering other people. This particular ad, and quite frankly, I made a phone call to the person that the ad was produced for that particular campaign, and had a very concerning discussion with them. I would hope we'd all consider doing positive things in your campaigns. And when and if I have another campaign, I promise you, as I always have, it will always be about what I would intend to do, not what my opponent intends to do. They can speak for themselves. But the negativity at all levels, and of course, I'm not naive enough to think I can affect anything going on in the national scene, nor the state scene. Well, I do think we can on the state scene, because this particular one that bothered me so bad last week was on the state scene. And I will ask each one of our state representatives to please do. I've asked one of them already. I will tend to ask the other 2 to stick to what they wish to do and leave negativity out of our campaign, because it doesn't help any candidate. But what it does do is help bring down people that may be good people that want to run for an office. You know, if you watch what's going on, I don't know why anybody would run for a political office of any kind, quite frankly, because of the pressure that you take as well as your family takes. And we need good people in all elected positions. We don't need that person that's in there that just did it because they had an ego problem or something. You need educated people, you need people that are diverse in subject matter. So just before you allow in your campaign negativity to take over, just reconsider that. And with that said, I will hush, and I will ask the county manager to give us her report for the month of July and August. I'm not sure how it goes, but some of both probably.
Thank you. Many of us will be attending the NCACC annual conference this week, starting Thursday. Staff that will be attending will be myself, Ms. Tia Fula, Angie Dean, and Emily Moore. So we will be there with you all. Hope you're rested up from your previous conference. The last community conversation for the opioid settlement funds will be held Thursday, August the 22nd, at the South Rocky Mount Community Center. 6 to 8 p.m. is the time of that conversation. As we announced earlier, our new tax assessor and finance director will be joining us this month, which means we'll be saying farewell to Ms. Doris Sumner and Ms. Donna Wood. So please keep an eye out on your email for our announcements about their celebrations, and we hope that you can come and join us for those. County offices will be closed Monday, September the 2nd, in observance of Labor Day. At our second meeting in September, we will provide the board and invited town councils with a comprehensive report on the status of our EMS system. That is August. I'll have to give you the date.
September.
I'm sorry, September, I think it's the 23rd.
It's 23rd.
Yeah, okay, September 23rd will be the date of that meeting, and we will make contact with our town and town councils and get those invitations out. I hope this morning you were greeted by Mr. Will Hill at the front security when you came in. Mr. Hill is a former employee of the Sheriff's Office in the Detention Center and Animal Control. He also spent time in security at the hospital and recently was employed by the Rocky Mount Police Department. We're happy to welcome him back to Nash County, and we think that his skill set and his work with Chris Carey will be great work on our building security and safety. And this morning, I did give a status update on EMS. And as far as the Sheriff's Office, there's currently one vacant civilian evidence tech position. There are 13 vacant sworn deputy positions. However, the expectation was to have that number down to 10 by this morning, from when I got these numbers last week. The entry-level new hires in July and August will be in training for 11 months. There are 10 detention officer vacancies with a pending resignation that will bring that number to 11. They have a new recruiting poster that they are using on social media, and a recruiting video is in the editing stages at this point. They are now focusing on career hires since so many of their new hires are in the BLET program, so they are now focusing on BLET certified and experienced career hires. And that is the end of my report.
Questions from any commissioner on the manager?
That meeting on the 23rd, is that a 1:30 meeting?
It is.
Other questions, comments? Seeing none, the last item on the agenda is a closed session that I will call for. The closed session is for economic development, a personnel matter, and attorney-client privileges is something we always have on there. Any action expected to be taken after our meeting?
I do not think so.
Okay, do not think so. If we have any, we will certainly notify the press. You're always welcome to stay until we come back out. But I don't know of anything, economic development. No, we may have to have a special meeting call later in the month, but we'll talk about that when we come back out. So with that said, I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session at this time for those items stated, which is economic development, personnel matter, and attorney-client privilege.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? We'll take a 5-minute recess and convene in closed session. Thank you.